Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully, with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio.
1 minute.
Of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
I'm getting called to the principal's office on Monday.
Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. From.
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's going on, everybody? Woo! I think my voice just cracked there. What's going on, all you scallywags, nutmeggers, across the fruited plain? You know what time it is. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Plenty of news, plenty of views to get into today as things just continue to keep rolling on and on.
Yeah, rolling.
Every day it seems like there's something new. And I get it. It's what's called the 24-hour news cycle. It would be nice if we could stick to something for a little while, find out more details without having to jump from place to place. And in the talk radio space, if I can tell a little inside baseball, has always been make sure you're on this. Make sure you do that. Nothing against the people who do that. I get it. They just don't want to miss an opportunity to really make sort of eventful talk radio, appointment radio, as it were. And I'm trying to do that in my own unique way, personally. When I look at some of the stories, I say to myself, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'll see it and I'll just go, I'm going to have to talk about this, aren't I? Why? Because it's what everyone's talking about. But I don't have any interest. And the worst thing that I could do is pretend to be interested. It shows. It does. Not to you. And some of you who know me well enough, have been here long enough, you'll recognize it. Yeah, I don't think Reese is into this. Others just, go along to get along. I'm noise in the background, if you will. But me, I notice it. I'll be looking at a story just going, Okay, let's make the best of it. And I do. But this one is particularly interesting to me because I'm in a unique position. And I don't want anybody to get the impression that I don't know it. I'm a black conservative. But most important, beyond being a black conservative, I don't care that I'm a black conservative. I'm just Reese. My labels are about outside of me. When people talk about me, when they're describing me, oh, he's a black conservative, this, that, blah, blah. Believe it or not, ask anyone, people who know me, this is kind of Reese. No one ever views him as like, that's just Reese. Oh, there's Reese again. They all know this. So what you are experiencing is me, not a political platform, a platitude, or anything like that. The story about D.C., in particular, is something that I understand on a personal level. Crime, villainy, the hood. I know it all. When we were growing up, my friends, we avoided it like the plague. We were squares. No one ever thought we would grow up to live some sort of gangsta lifestyle. I'll even go so far as to say this. When I wanted to be a hip-hop MC back in the days, everyone in the business said that our music was too soft. I had a white A&R guy. He's got kind of the guy who hires the talent for the record label. He told me, and I quote, "You are not shooting enough N-words and slapping enough W words in our music." And we explained to him, that's not our lifestyle. And his response to that was, that's not selling. What's selling is shooting up the blacks and slapping the women. That's what the kids in the hood want to hear. And that's what we're selling them. And sure enough, that's what the hood was purchasing. And these kids know it. You know it too, especially those of you in the inner city. You know it too. You won't listen to the music probably because you don't understand it or it's too fast for you or they're singing and rapping at the same time and it's confusing to hear with all of the weird bass and the, what's that other, auto-tunes and the high-level pitching of weird sounds. I get it. This music is garbage. By the way, you want to know how you can tell if hip-hop music is garbage? By the rate in which kids are killing themselves. The music's so horrible, they have to take their own lives. That's how bad it is. Oh, yeah, I said it. But I love this topic. And I love people pretending that they are concerned about what's happening to them when it comes to the President of the United States, but don't seem to give two scraps about what they're doing to themselves. When their obvious bigotry and hatred for those kids comes to fold, when they're face to face with talking about what it is like to live in the inner city, you find out who they truly are. Now, folks, I know they don't care. I know these people on the left don't give a damn about how many of these kids die. They never show up to protest. You never see them walking down the street of the hood singing Negro hymnals after a violent crime happens with a gangbanger. No, they only come into the neighborhood when they're allowed to. If an alleged white person or a cop shoots a young black man, Then white folks are invited down to the barbecue. Come on down, Whitey. Come on down and protest with you. The news won't show up unless you're protesting. And then you mosey your butt on down there to the neighborhood. One that you would normally roll up your windows and lock your doors to drive through in 10 seconds. You come on down there with your orange slices, pretending to care. Which side are you on, boy? Which side are you on? Love it. I find it fascinating. But I live there. And I'm sorry, Libs. You ain't going to come on this program and tell me what it's like to live in the hood. You never been there. And you wouldn't go there. You wouldn't even visit. Your black friends, your brown friends, your ethnic friends, they live in your communities. They've left those war-torn cities to come live in the suburbs. Have you ever asked some of your black and brown neighbors why they didn't stay knee-deep in the hood? That's probably because they would turn around and tell you, are you crazy? Them Negroes are nuts. I'm sick and tired of my kids doing their homework in the bathtub. You don't know anything about that life. But you'll do anything to protect it as long as you get the call, the big orange man bad. And good on you. You found your foil. He's Donald Trump. He's so much of your foil, you are willing to embarrass yourselves to make it about him instead of the lives that are lost every day. But I also noticed something different. I noticed something weird, and I went to go look it up today. I asked Grok to give me a list of all of your protests. White libs. I asked Grok to give me a list of your protests from January 20th until today. And looking on this list that spans from January 20th all the way to the last protest on the 11th, black folks only show up here once, maybe twice, with regards to DEI. You just protested DEI. You didn't protest any violence in the streets. You didn't protest any children who were murdered, kidnapped, harmed, drug-addled streets, hypodermic needles, fentanyl overdoses, none of it. You showed up for none of it. Stuff happening in the inner city, you didn't care until now. Now you got a new protest. You're marching through D.C. And what are you saying to those children of D.C.? You're saying, I think it's wrong for the President of the United States to take over the police department. Crime is at a 30-year low. Leave them black folks alone to handle their own business. So what? There are 12, 13-year-olds running around with guns carjacking federal officers. You know they did. So what? There were pregnant ladies with guns getting pulled on them and their strollers getting snatched. Because you know it did. Who cares if there's shootouts in broad daylight in the inner city? Because you know there is. Leave them people alone, big evil Donald Trump. Them black folks got business to tend to. And they're handling it on the streets. Who am I to stop a young black man from shooting his neighbor? I'm no tyrant. You're not impressing anybody with this. The people in those communities are scared to death. And just because you found a couple of morons to tell you that Donald Trump, if he really cared about violence, he would have cared about an attack on the Capitol on January 6th, some 4 years ago. You got to be kidding me. You think what happened at that building is far more dire than the violence that happens in that city on a year-to-year basis. Let's go through the numbers. So January 6th, if I remember this correctly, Ashley Babbitt shot and killed, let me get this right, 2020, 198 homicides, 6,300 violent crimes. Huh? Carjackings, 150. Overall crime, 40,000. 2021, 226 homicides. Violent crime total, 7,000. It went up. Carjackings went up also 400. Overall crime total, that went up too, 43,000. 2022, we saw a slight decline. From 2026 and 2021, we got to 203. Wow. But the violent crime total went up from 7,000 to 7,350. And the carjackings went up too, from 400 to 450. Overall crime total, that skyrocketed too, went from 43,000 to 45,000. Anybody still thinking this is as bad as January 6th? Come on, explain it to me. Anyone? Anyone? And then we saw a sharp decline out of nowhere. In 2023, we saw an overall number of 9,100 violent crimes in 2023. By the way, in 2022, that went down to 203. The next year, skyrocketed to 274 homicides. The overall crime total went from 45,000 in 2022 to 56,000 the next year. You're going to sit up here and tell me that January 6th was worse than all of that? Spare me. You guys have got to be kidding yourselves. And you want to hear the worst part? Because when we come back, I'm going to read all of these totals. I need to go through all of them. These new numbers that I just grabbed, these are crazy. These are crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. I got audio sound bites to boot. But I just want to make sure that I make this clear, this part clear. The numbers that I just cited, think about it. 2020, 198 homicides. 2021, 226. Down in 2022 to 203, back up to 274 in 2023. That's the highest of all four of those years. We went from 40,000 in 2020 in the crime totals all the way up to 56,000 in 2023 with all of those numbers. Now, here's the crazy part, folks. The crazy part. Can't wait to read this one. In 2020, or following 2020, after the George Floyd protests, some police departments, including the Metropolitan Police Department in D.C., reportedly redefined or downgraded certain crimes, e.g., reclassifying aggravated assaults as simple assaults, which are treated as nonviolent misdemeanors. That was after 2020, and the numbers still rose to astronomical levels. Spare me your 30% decline of crime. You're all liars, every one of you. But stand by, because when we get back, I have so much more to this caper. So much more to this nonsense. And plus a message to you liberals, those of you in my chat room and those of you who call on the show. You're the worst kind of liars. And you're not allowed back here until you apologize. Because when we come back and I play these audio sound bites, you know, the ones that you guys keep citing, the news sources that you keep citing, well, we're going to play those exact individuals, you know, the ones that you trust, telling you things that go completely against everything you tried to suggest on this show yesterday. And you're not allowed back here until you recognize that you're a bunch of fibbers, disingenuous liars, and apologize. You don't want to miss the next break, because I'm going to play all of the audio for you. And if you're watching online, you'll see it as well. You guys know nothing about this, nor are you doing your research. You are lazy. But that's okay, I'm a workhorse. I do this job perfectly, at least in my estimation. So stand by. Go nowhere. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance is in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
ALO Home Services. Same day
Hey,
electrical.
send a message to John.
Let
him know that I'm going to grab him.
So I knew when they would be here.
You know what? In fact,
you say same day? That's crazy.
Can you tell him
if you
to
need
call
same-day
back
electrical,
at
call, click, or
3:30?
text today and say hello.
In an hour.
Yeah, tell him to call back in an hour. I'll keep the conversation going, and I'll bring him back. In fact, I'll announce him coming on.
All right, cool.
Thanks, man.
8699 SN300
1 minute.
E1185643.
Hey, Matt Soroyce here, and you've been hearing me talk for a while now about Awaken 180 Weight Loss and the amazing team there. But now they're putting their money where their mouths are. That's because for a limited time, for all new customers at the West Hartford location only, the first 5 pounds you lose will cost you nothing but the smile on your face. That's right, Awaken 180 Weight Loss won't charge you a dime until the scale shows you've lost 5 pounds. Up to 3 weeks
I'm
free.
sorry,
And
Catherine.
don't worry, you won't be starving for those 3 weeks. The one-on-one coaching with the team at Awaken 180 will have you losing pounds quickly while eating delicious, great food. If you're planning an end-of-the-summer trip but would love to cut some unwanted weight before leaving, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the answer you're looking for. So don't wait a minute more.
So, Daniel, thank you for the question. I am into model trains, but not. It's weird because the model trains I used to have as a kid, I don't remember which ones they are, so I'm still investigating that because I'm trying to get the old trains that I had when I was a kid. They were pretty cheap, but I can't find them anywhere. But what I do love are actual trains. I'm a huge, real train guy. I love riding on trains. I'm a big Amtrak guy in the sense of I like the scenery. I love traveling that way. So that's what I mean by my enthusiasm for trains is more so traveling on them and looking at the sort of like the real train. So I go to a lot of train museums.
Has released additional details on an officer-involved shooting on Saturday in Basra. Troopers fired at Amanda Williams after the IG says she would not drop the gun. She was pointing at another man. They tried to use non-lethal means prior to the shots being fired to no avail, and that investigation is ongoing. One person's in the hospital. The fate of another is unknown as yet. Following a fire this morning in Cheshire, the fire broke out in a house on Brookside Place. A woman says the person that's unaccounted for is her son, but fire and police officials have not officially released any information to that end as yet. Ukraine President Zelensky says Russian President Putin wants Ukraine to withdraw from the remaining 30% of Donetsk that Ukraine controls as part of any ceasefire deal. Putin and President Trump meet in Alaska on Friday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has expressed pride in being part of the Communion of Reformed Evangelical Churches, conservative Christian network. He recently shared a CNN video about the church showing its pastors arguing women.
Oh, Daniel, you got to send me a picture of that.
Testing a new age verification system in the U.S. using AI to distinguish between adults and minors based on their viewing habits. The tests, scheduled to begin Wednesday, initially affect a small portion of you.
You're right about that, BJ. I do expect those numbers to go in all the way down, especially with all the deportations and the arrest, as it were. That's going to show an uptick in arrest, but then, of course, it will drop those numbers down to almost infinitesimal numbers.
Except for some 80s and some of the higher elevations and coastal points.
Tonight we'll have a clear to partly cloudy sky with increasing humidity and some patchy fog in places late tonight, lows 65 to 70 degrees. Wednesday's partly sunny, hot, and humid. There is the chance for a shower or thunderstorm during the second half of the day tomorrow. The high near 90. Dew points into the upper 60s and low 70s tomorrow. Also the chance for a shower or thunderstorm Wednesday night. Muggy with a low near 70. Partly sunny Thursday. A slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm. Much of the day probably dry, though. Highs 85 to 90. Friday looks sunny with comfortably low humidity. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny Saturday. Highs well into the 80s. Continued comfortable levels of humidity. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center. 90 degrees and sunny right now in Hartford. Checking traffic, no real issues to report in the Hartford area, save for
Thank you, BJ.
construction in the usual spots. Down in Bridgeport, though, there's a brush fire burning. Route 8 southbound between exits 1D and 1C with the left lane closed. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Dreaming of a perfect smile? At Columbia Dental, our orthodontic experts specialize in braces and clear aligners like Invisalign. Get the smile you've always dreamed of. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Today, everyone turns to the internet to search for things, but the number one thing you can never find online is great customer service. Well, your search is over with a visit to Modern Plumbing. Whether you're building or remodeling, you're going to have questions. So why not shop where you can get the knowledge you've been craving? Great pricing, great selections, and most importantly, great customer service. Modern Plumbing, showroom and parts counter on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Don't wait for a breakdown to start thinking about your HVAC system. For a limited time, call the Bee and get your heating or cooling tune-up for as low as $99. A professional HVAC tune-up keeps your system running efficiently, helps prevent costly repairs, and ensures you stay covered under your manufacturer warranty. Visit callthebee.com. That's calltheletter.com to schedule your tune-up for as low as $99. Call the Bee, Connecticut. Plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical professionals. Call the Bee. We'll be there and we'll be fair.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hugs from patients like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. 2 minutes. Somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back.
About 2 minutes.
I know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from
Hey, man, without these, you can't be on.
damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still
I understand
smiling,
how the
and
structure
sometimes
works.
it gets
Keep them
emotional.
bills
I get a
coming.
tear in my eye because of
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. it means patients are finally getting relief. And now, it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
1 minute.
Hiring. Have you ever felt like you're missing
Back
out
in the days
on meeting
when I didn't
truly
know
great
any better,
candidates for your
like
roles?
very early
it
on,
seems impossible
I
to
was
find
so
them.
eager to
They have
talk,
to be out there
like
somewhere,
on the
right?
air.
Well, they're not hard
I was
to
like,
find when
come
you
on,
know
all
where
these
to go.
darn commercials.
And that place is ZipRecruiter.
Somebody pulled me to the
And
side
right
and said,
now, you can try
dude,
ZipRecruiter
that's how you
for
get a
free
paycheck.
at ZipRecruiter.
Exactly.
ZipRecruiter
I was like, oh, yeah,
helps
okay.
10 million people with their
I sing the songs and everything. Like, hey, I'm trying to stay paid.
It's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible
Once
is
I
easy.
learned
when
that,
you go to
oh my God, I spent all of my time in the sales
ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now
department.
to try ZipRecruiter
I was like,
for
oh,
free.
there's a way to.
Once again, that's
What do you guys do?
ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Yeah, you could get a little piece too
Yeah,
if you put yourself up there.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we got plenty of news and plenty of views. We are sticking with the D.C. subject. Also, we're going to have John DeBarros, candidate for the 5th District here in Connecticut. We're going to have him on in a little bit. He just texted me. I should have texted him beforehand. He's going to be back here. We're going to talk about this whole thing about he is from Waterbury, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about here. As an African-American, a black man, a conservative, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He can identify. This, in a weird way, this will be like an echo chamber between he and I. We will talk to him at about 3:30, so stand by for that. I'm also looking at Fox News. Bill Barr is on the program with America Reports right now, and I've got a new update in the Project Veritas video. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Go to Project Veritas's YouTube page. You can watch the new installment involving Bill Barr, and this one is exactly what I thought it was, this whole conversations with Fannie Willis. It goes one step further. It turns out that this woman, Patricia Lelis, who is the subject of the Project Veritas piece, had a burner phone for not just Fannie Willis. She also had a burner phone for her paramour, Nathan Wade. More details in the ongoing saga of Willis and Wade. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that. Anyway, so apparently they're back in the fold. We'll get into that in a little bit. So let's get back to this subject about the D.C. crime. And this is what I mean when I say certain individuals have to apologize as they scream and holler about, it's this, it's that. And then it turns out to be not those things, and they don't even have the decency to say, I was wrong, Reese. You were. Now you have to say I was right. I reject that. You shouldn't say I was right. Just say you were wrong. You made a mistake. I do. When I'm wrong, I say it all the time. Hey, I got it wrong. In fact, I take pride in it when I get it wrong. It lets me know that I have to work harder to make sure that I don't get it wrong again. I take it personal. I do. I just do. But what do I mean? I'm going to have to call out some people. Donald, you too. But definitely Tim, allegedly from Hamden. I got to call him out. And he could get mad. I don't care. He could be mad all day. The point is that he called here yesterday saying that crime is at a 30-year low. I mean, sorry, not 30, a 30% low, or I don't know. Who cares? The point is it's not. I already gave you the numbers, but I want to go one step further. I want to go one step further. You see, I am not the type of conservative that uses liberals to make my point. I already know what the facts are. I use the sources that they support, the ones that they run to, because democracy dies in darkness. I go to them. And I go to them when they're reporting unprovoked, when they're just doing stories, when they're not reacting to Donald Trump or conservatives, they have a tendency to tell the truth. They just report. They're not responding to anything. They just do the reporting they're supposed to do. We'll get to that in a second. Stand by. But let's go to a couple of people. Did you know that in D.C. and Maryland, you're not allowed to go into the grocery store called Giant with a bag that is bigger than 14 inches? Let's let them tell the story.
So starting today at 12 Giant grocery stores in D.C. and Maryland, if you have a bag over 14 inches, you cannot take it inside the store. So what does that look like? Here's a backpack, 14 inches. This one can't go in. Also, if you're under 18 years old, you cannot go into this store after 6 p.m. without an adult. Giant store leaders say it is all because of thieves, and shoppers we spoke to say all these new rules, these are a small price to pay.
It's a private business. They can set their own rules.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like it, shop somewhere else. It would also keep prices down for us as a consumer.
I'm for anything that works. If it makes anything better for the community, and if it works for the kids to keep the kids from coming in, I think because you should teach the kids not to steal.
It's unfortunate because apparently a lot of theft has been happening, and that's the reason why. So they got to do something. Otherwise, we won't have a Giant.
That's right. They won't have a Giant. But you know what? It's the news media that's reporting that this crime in D.C. is down 30%. Huh? They're the ones saying that, right? Well, let's go to that same media. Let's go to ABC News' Kyra Phillips. This is her talking about the rhetoric about crime being down in D.C. and what the reality is for people like her and her coworkers.
We've been talking so much about the numbers, and yeah, usually that's how you play devil's advocate, is you talk about, oh, well, stats say crime is down. However, I can tell you firsthand here in downtown D.C. where we work, right here around our bureau, just in the past 6 months, there were 2 people shot. 1 person died, literally 2 blocks down here from the bureau. It was within the last 2 years that I actually was jumped, walking just 2 blocks down from here. And then just this morning,
she got jumped. Kyra Phillips got jumped 2 blocks away from her job.
One of my coworkers said her car was stolen a block away from the bureau. So we can talk about the numbers going down, but crime is happening every single day because we're all experiencing it firsthand while working and living down here.
Yeah, they're working and living down there where it's happening. And it's not like other people aren't expressing this as well. On Morning Joke with Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, even Morning Joke is talking about how quietly liberals in D.C. are really applauding Donald Trump for what he did.
The people that are cheering this on privately are not like right-wing Republicans, are not MAGA people. A lot of our friends are in the media, and also Democrats that worked on Joe Biden's campaign, that worked on other campaigns, that are saying, yeah, I'd like to feel safe walking around this city. If the federal government can be a positive partner in keeping the streets safe, while, again, forming a partnership with the D.C. police and not taking over, then at least the people I've spoken with that live in D.C. day in, day out, see this as a positive step.
Yeah, look at that. Even liberals. But Morning Joke even went one step further. Live on the air, Morning Joke Scarborough, he actually read a text message that he got from a very liberal friend who wanted to remain anonymous. Or at least Joe Scarborough decided to make him anonymous. Listen to what he said.
I want to read you a text from someone who, I won't say their name, but they're, we'll just say that they're very liberal. And he says, this may sound controversial, but I'm not totally opposed to Trump's National Guard move in D.C. I know he's doing it for politics, but crime remains rampant. I've had too many friends carjacked, shot at. None of us will walk more than 3 blocks after 8 p.m. 13-year-olds are committing many of these crimes Quite a change from the decade ago when things were much calmer. Well, that actually sounds like the D.C. that I lived in when I lived a block behind the Supreme Court.
So all of this flipping out, talking about, it's down. The crime is down. People are now saying that, look, man, say what you want, but this is not one of those things I want to jump on. I know I hate Trump, and I'm usually knee-jerking my reaction to everything that he does, but truth be told, it's bedlam out here. It's bad. And people who are 6, 7, 8 hours away are on talk shows talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. Never been in the hood, won't go in the hood, refuse the hood, act like the hood's not there. Can't even find it on a map. If their car had to go through the hood to get to a destination, they would go, no, alternate route, please. They know it. Spare me. But I want to go one step further. Benny Johnson, just recently, today, was at the White House press briefing. He was the first person to ask a question to Caroline Leavitt. He even told his own harrowing story about how his home was firebombed with his infant child inside. Now, the police and the fire department had to save his infant child's life. And Caroline Leavitt responded to people and naysayers who say that there is no violent crime or the violent crime in D.C. has gone down. And Caroline Leavitt, as only she could do, caught the Washington Post in its own nonsense. You see, today they're reporting crime is down. But what were they reporting in May of last year? Caroline Leavitt tells us.
There have been, unfortunately, far too many victims of crime in this city, and I know the majority of residents in the District of Columbia agree with you. In fact, a new poll from the Washington Post I was reading this morning, this was released in May of 2024. So it's quite funny how many of you in the media agreed with what the president was saying yesterday, but now once the president says it, many of you are disagreeing with him. But this poll released by the Washington Post found that 65% of district residents think crime is an extremely serious or a very serious problem. And this was up from 56% last year.
So with all due respect, spare me. You guys, you look silly. Just apologize. Just say that you jumped on the bandwagon because your favorite news anchor told you to. And you thought you were going to catch me out there, but you can't. You're always caught flat-footed. I'm 2 steps ahead of you. And if I'm not, the next day, I've got you dead to rights. You don't know what you're talking about. But don't worry, it's not over. I'm going to bury your head in it when we come back. You guys have always been wrong on this stuff because it's my job to be right. Don't go anywhere. You stay right there. Yeah, you know who I'm talking to. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Aiello Home Services, we love the opportunity of meeting our customers' pets. That's why we partnered with the Pack Leaders Rescue of East Hartford and the Wallingford Animal Shelter to help animals find the homes they deserve. To help these animals and fix your home's plumbing, heating, AC, electrical, or drains, call, click, or text and say hello, Aiello. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S10406241, S33086999, SM3004646, E1185643.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
Having options tastes better. Enjoy a refreshing Coke Zero included in either the $5 Hot and Spicy McChicken Meal Deal or the $6 McDouble Meal Deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's only public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement.
UConn Health, we're delivering care that changes the game for athletes and for everyone.
Learn more at yukonhealth.org.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. It's not a sign. I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
I'd like to give you some numbers if I could. These are the numbers from 2019 to 2020. The subject is homicides in D.C. between 2019 and 2020. Now, I know that has nothing to do and has no bearing on what the homicides are in 2025. We're only in August. But if you need those numbers, by the way, I will give them because I want to be fair here. In the year 2025, year to date, we have 99 homicides. Violent crimes are 1,588. There, as far as carjackings, they are between 180 and 190. And the overall crime total at this point, year to date, is 12,310. We do know that they are fudging the numbers because we just had a commander suspended for just that. So these numbers that they're saying incredibly low also take into account that we know that after 2020, some police departments, including the Metropolitan Police Department, the D.C. Police Department, redefined or downgraded certain violent crimes. We know that to be a fact. They say that the 3rd District downgraded offenses, making the numbers appear better, amid claims of such by the police union that reported declines like 28 to 34% in the district. They were considered implausible. Such manipulations are alleged to stem from pressure to show progress amid political scrutiny. Increased underreporting by victims and businesses. That is a national issue, but in D.C., it is quite prominent. That's why these numbers have gone down. But I want to go back to this thing. Homicides, 2019 and 2020. Just to show you exactly how callous these liberals are, especially them white ones. The black on white level of crime were 6 homicides, 1.65% of all. That's black on white crimes. White on black crimes were 3 in those 2 years, 0.75% of all homicides. Other combinations, meaning, Asian, Pacific Islander, and all that other stuff, It was 6.49%, 21 homicides in all, based upon multiple races killing each other. White on white murder in D.C., 0.01% with a homicide rate of 0. The black on black crime, out of 341, 311, 2019 to 2020. That was a percentage of 91.1%. Again, 91.1% were black on black crimes in D.C. What are you downplaying? I'll tell you what you're downplaying. You're downplaying the obvious. I know what you're trying to say because I've talked to so-called black liberals too. And they have no problem with black people killing themselves. Not a one. You won't see any protests for it. You won't see them arguing about it. You won't see them trying to tamp it down. You'll only see folks showing up at Washington or showing up at city halls in and around asking for more money to stop a problem that they never stop and don't know how to stop because they don't confront the problem. All of you have decided that you are going to cure breast cancer by becoming podiatrists. Please spare me. Please spare me. I'm not impressed. I won't be impressed. And this is something that I know personally. This is the hood, folks. That's the way it is. Please don't tell me that you care. I know you don't. You may be one of those soft-spoken internet carers. I think it's messed up what's happening in the inner city. Send. But you don't get between those victims and those bullets. You never will. You'll get yourself arrested to get your strawberries in your smoothies. You'll get arrested to save people, to pick your cotton and clean your toilets. But I ain't never seen you get arrested to stop the violence in the inner city. Ever. And you won't. So I don't care how upset you are. I don't care what you rage about and call me names. You and I both know it's true. I run a higher risk of being shot at than you do. And the only reason why is because I do a segment called Negro Nonsense. Because I call it as it is. But you guys will never, ever stand up for any of those kids that are getting shot and killed. Ever. So please don't bore me. Let's get to our WTIC newsroom. John Silva's there, and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Reese On The Radio is back. We don't fear anything here. I love you guys. Stay tuned.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 90 degrees. We'll keep the sunshine for this Tuesday. Hot. Temperatures low 90s. All the forecast details coming up. Fire in Cheshire early this morning sent one person to the hospital. Investigators say they've yet to determine the fate of a second person in that Brookside Place house, although a woman says it was her son. This is the town's fire chief, Jack Kasner.
We're in the process of finding the second person. We have not located the second person yet. We have not conclusively said that the person was even home. So there's a lot of moving parts. So we're working on that as we speak.
Now, crews arrived around 3 this morning to find flames shooting from the structure. The house sustained extensive damage. There's no word yet on a cause. More information being released by the State Office of Inspector General on that officer-involved shooting that took place in Basra on Saturday. The IG's office released a preliminary report today. The shooting, saying troopers responded to a home on Gifford Lane where a man and woman were involved in an armed physical altercation. Body cam footage shows troopers ordering 39-year-old Amanda Williams to drop the gun she was pointing at the man involved in the dispute. In an attempt to neutralize the situation, troopers fire at least one round of non-lethal pepper balls at Williams, which appear to have no effect. That is when Trooper Brett Cook fired from his service handgun. Trooper Noah Blanchette fired 2 rounds from a Colt M4 rifle.
Don't move! Don't move! Stay there! Stay there! Stay there!
An autopsy determined she died from a gunshot wound to the neck. The IG continues to investigate that police use of force. Law enforcement officials are releasing more details on the shooting on the CDC in Atlanta last Friday. Stacey Lynn has that.
GBI Director Chris Hosey says 5 different firearms were found at the scene.
The majority, I believe, of the shell casings recovered were from a long gun.
He says all the guns belong to the suspect's father. Nearly 500 rounds were fired.
Close to 200 rounds impacted 6 of the CDC buildings.
A police officer was shot and killed during the incident. The accused gunman, 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
President Trump has extended a trade truce with China for another 90 days. Tariffs are already at 30% on Chinese imports.
The timing is notable here because of the December holiday season. It's summer now here in the Northern Hemisphere, right? But U.S. retailers will be stocking up on a lot of Chinese imports over the next few months. So this pause, in effect, helps those companies, and they won't have to make that devil's choice, if you will, to pass on higher costs to U.S. consumers and maybe eat some of those costs when they'll be buying things in November and December.
Correspondent Ramy Inocencio, that pause could pave the way for a meeting later this year between President Trump and China's President Xi. Federal bill would contribute to the construction of 3 million new housing units in the U.S. That would ease the housing crisis, as some estimates suggest Connecticut alone is 350,000 housing units short. Cara Capone of My Sister's Place says expensive housing has put too many families on edge.
One little issue with their car or a medical bill can cause them to become homeless or lose their housing. And it's much easier to maintain someone's housing through affordability than it is to put them into shelter and then try and get them back into housing on the back end.
The Housing and Economic Mobility Act would set up grants to towns that build affordable housing and provide down payment assistance to individuals. The bill, co-sponsored by Senator Richard Blumenthal, would also guarantee home loan eligibility to veterans and their descendants. And Spirit Airlines may be living on borrowed
In a
time.
regulatory filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Spirit Airlines warned that without a substantial cash infusion, there's substantial doubt about the budget airline's ability to remain in business over the next 12 months. Spirit earlier this year emerged from bankruptcy that resulted in $800 million of debt being converted into equity. But the Florida-based carrier says its future is clouded by ongoing cash losses, adverse market conditions, and the inability to maintain enough liquidity required by its creditors.
CBS's Jason Brooks. WTIC News Time is 3:05. From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, delays 84 westbound or just out of East Hartford from exits 56 to 45. We still have some leftover road work and Windsor locks on 91 North between exits 42 and 44. Also looking at some busier traffic down along the 95 corridor. We had some busier volume earlier out of Stamford up through Norwalk, 95 North, and again in Fairfield between exits 18 and 24 into Bridgeport. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
With hot and increasingly humid weather throughout the area, there's potential danger of dehydration and even heat stroke while doing strenuous outdoor activities. Will stay mostly sunny the rest of today with a high temperature in the lower 90s. Warm and humid tonight, staying clear, and overnight low of just 69. Hot, humid weather tomorrow. Sunshine and patchy clouds. There'll be a thunderstorm in some areas tomorrow afternoon, high 91. Warm and buggy tomorrow night with a couple of widely separated thunderstorms, low 74. Partly sunny on Thursday, still very warm and humid with a thunderstorm in a couple of spots, high 87. Friday, mostly sunny and a little less humid, high 86 degrees. Heading into the weekend, for Saturday, mostly sunny and very warm, with an afternoon high of 88 degrees. Then hot, humid weather on Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds, high 94. The current record is 96, set in 1913. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow up 449. NASDAQ's ahead 274 points, and the S&P's up 67. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays.
1 minute.
It's a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Life can be unpredictable at times, but you shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of someone else's negligence. If you've been in an accident or work-related injury and it's not your fault, you need a lawyer who knows how to get you the fair and just compensation. At Brown, Painderis & Scott, our team of personal injury lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more. You get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Bruce Newman is responsible for the content of this ad.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
I got to get a new chair. This thing's driving me up the wall. Every time I'm sitting in, I got to scoot it back up and all this other stuff. I got people in the chat room asking the question if I'm authentically from the hood. He ain't never been on the hood, in the hood. Yeah. Okay, you don't know where I've ever been. You don't know where I've ever been. You don't know where I am. You don't know who I work with, talk with, hang out with, nothing at all. You couldn't possibly know. But all this question about, has he ever hung out in the hood? Timmy, we had a meet and greet in a nice neighborhood. You wouldn't even show up to that because you was shook, as they say in the hood. You could have showed up. You could have showed up, but you didn't. There goes that. Let's get some headlines, and then I'll get some calls. All right. What is becoming a growing trend in Connecticut? Well, this one surprised me, folks. Millionaires are renting. Yep, they're renting instead of buying, and it's becoming more popular for Connecticut's wealthy. According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, in 2023, more than 9% of Connecticut households with an income of above $750,000 are renting. That's up from 2018, when just about 7% of Connecticut households were in the income group that chose to rent rather than buy. When the squeeze of the historically low housing inventory impacts wealthy shoppers, they have more flexibility to be patient with the housing market. Luxury rentals can provide flexibility for those looking for their perfect Connecticut home. I am not wealthy, and I will not be renting although there is one place that we're looking at that's fully furnished, and it's really, really big, and it's a lot of money. I'm considering it. It's a considerable amount of money. It's up there with New York. I'm considering it. Also in the news, this sounds like a News at 11 story. It asked the question, can the air conditioning in your home really make you sick? If an air conditioning system malfunctions or isn't properly maintained, it can become contaminated with infectious microbes. This is according to a study in the website Study Finds. This can turn your AC unit into a potential source of numerous airborne infections, ranging from the common cold to pneumonia. Improperly maintained AC units can harbor bacteria, fungi, and viruses, turning them into potential sources of infections like fungal lung disease and stomach flu. They said the sick building syndrome, symptoms like headaches, cough, and fatigue occurs more often in people working long hours in poorly maintained air-conditioned spaces. Legionella bacteria in contaminated AC water systems can cause severe potential life-threatening Legionnaire's disease. Regularly cleaning and servicing of AC systems can reduce the risk of airborne infections and can help prevent the spread of some viruses, including COVID, of all things. I'm not going to lie. This is probably one of the weirdest things with me about ACs. I will not drive with the AC on in my car. And when I'm made to, I have to keep the window open because the AC makes me sleep. I don't know if anybody else has that, ailment or if it affects you in that way. But there's something in the AC. I don't know if it's Freon. I don't know what it is, but something about that cold air makes me sleepy. I don't understand why it is, but it does. So it's always the AC, not just cold air, just the AC renders me tired. More than 6 years after the Federal Aviation Administration approved commercial drone deliveries to homes, the service has been confined to a few suburbs in rural areas. But by next summer, Walmart and Wing, a drone company owned by the Google parent company known as Alphabet, are expecting to expand to 100 Walmart stores in Atlanta, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston, Orlando, and Tampa, Florida. They think that this will increase. So this will actually cause people to start ordering these drones to their homes. And I don't know if you've heard stories about this, like people were shooting them down out of the sky in some places. Why they would do this more in Texas, where people are more prone to do that, I don't know. But this could be coming. If you want to answer this, would you order something that was delivered by drone to your house? I mean, I think it's something you have to do at least once to experience it, right? I mean, it just makes sense. I'm a big drone guy. I'm going to buy my next drone at a pawn shop because they're relatively cheaper, and you can still get a warranty. But there's this one drone that I got my eyes on. It's just a little pricey. I just can't justify the price, but I'm a big drone guy. Roland, are you into drones at all? You ever tried that?
No, not really.
No, okay. I love kites. So I love, like, things that you can fly up in the air. Like, I love kites because you have to control it with the wind. So that's, kind of a talent, and I'm really, really good at it. I can get a kite up a good 400 or 500 feet in the air.
I like watching people
do the drones
with drones, but
yeah,
I don't like personally doing it myself.
I want to do the one. They have a sport where you can get the drone to go through all of the obstacle courses. Have you ever seen that?
No, I've seen some of the stuff that the military use, like with.
Yes, those are cool too.
Yeah. That's wild that they're really making it, and they're like trying to attract the top video game people to operate them.
Yeah, those kids who are in there. There's this thing in Florida where they have these sort of like tracks that you can go through. It's like a whole obstacle course, and the guy's got to wear like goggles or like a headset to actually navigate through the certain thing. It's almost like the Westminster Dog Show, but it's your drone going through all of the obstacles.
That's crazy.
And they go through fast. You got to watch the videos online. They're incredible. I'm just like, dude, how do they do that? But it takes, you got to be a skilled aviator, I guess.
Yeah, super trained for that.
Super trained. I always find it fascinating. But that's the reason why I love drones so much. Anyway, and with that, let's go to the stupidest thing I've read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
As if it wasn't annoying enough to have to hear stories about Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell leaving the country. In fact, we hear more about them not living in the United States than we did when they were here. When Ella was going through her whole scandal about her, former cohorts or people who worked for her condemning her, she was absolutely quiet. Then she goes off to England, can't stop hearing about it. Rosie O'Donnell, same case. Nobody heard anything about her. She goes to Ireland. Now I've got to see her every day. Well, looks like someone else, another comedian, will finally be joining that brood of leaving America to go to Europe, where it's becoming harder and harder to actually have free speech, which is weird. Jimmy Kimmel from Jimmy Kimmel Live said to his ex-girlfriend Sarah Silverman on her podcast that he has now dual citizenship in Italy, of all places. He was able to track his roots to Italy, which is weird enough that in order to become a dual citizen, you have to track your heritage there. But he did, and he was able to track his relatives all the way back to the 1800s, the late 1800s. And so now he has dual citizenship and says that he is going to possibly be returning there after his 23-year stint on ABC doing Jimmy Kimmel Live. God bless you. If you got to leave, just leave. If you have to tell people that you're going, no one cares. Like, if you have to announce that you're leaving, no one cares. When you leave, everybody should be like, hey, where you going? But when you have to announce it to everybody who's in the room, it meant nobody cared in the first place. So, Jimmy, I used to love the guy. But, he's gone. He's moved on, as it goes. And too bad. Anyway, back to the phones. Let's go. 860-522-WTIC. What's going on, Mark?
Oh, my God. Jimmy Kimmel, he's going to hear the word Finocchio a lot when he goes here. I'll tell you that right now. And they're not that woke out there. I don't know if he thinks he's going to blend.
No, he will not. He will not.
Where's he going to go in Italy?
I don't know, but apparently he has set sails. He said he doesn't know when the other shoe's going to drop and his show's going to be canceled, which says is tantamount to him being silent. So then he'll have to move. So he's going to move his whole family to Italy. God bless him.
Hey, Frank from Woodbridge, if you're listening, he can put on blackface and go to Sicily. He'll fit right in.
That's funny because he's on the line too.
That's funny. Hey, can I put a period on your last hour's subject?
Why not?
And I want everybody to remember this. So when you hear Governor Ned Lamont or Senator Murphy or Blumenthal, or now we're hearing in D.C. because they pretty much mimic us, when you hear numbers provided about crimes, they are not providing the crimes from juvenile delinquents.
Indeed.
So I posted on Mark from West Hartford. Years ago, I got friends in the judicial system, and we had a conversation about that. And I said, what are you talking about? So I put the two documents, two policies. They're great reading. I sent them to you, and you've talked about it before on the radio, but it's worth repeating. And it shows you right there the policies of Connecticut. I'll read the top sentence of just the confidentiality part of court records. It says, all records of cases of juvenile matters, including delinquency proceedings, shall be confidential and for the use of the court in juvenile matters and shall not be disclosed. So there's no way these politicians have these numbers. And as far as and what they count as delinquent in Connecticut, it runs the gamut. It's bad stuff. It's theft, vandalism, assault, sexual assault.
Yeah.
And then let's say they go on to murder or arson and everything. Yeah, they'll be tried as an adult, but it still won't be counted because they're a juvenile. Then the other part of the policy that I put up is when they turn 18, and let's say it's not hardcore felonies like murder, but it is car theft and assault,
right,
and some other felonies. You'll see where they're erased, expunged, and ollied. And you'll see a term in there. It says as though they never existed.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. When you see that sentence, you're like, oh my God. God bless.
And this is
just like Richard Barrington. Richard Barrington is the guy that killed Bobby Garton. That's what happened in his case. Shows up at court at 18, a prosecutor, defense attorney, they all got to say he didn't have a prior record because they expunged it.
Indeed. That's exactly right. Yeah. So, these numbers, and everybody knows, I'll even go so far as this one. They say broader data integrity and participation issues. The FBI Uniform Crime Report program is voluntary, and gaps in submission, major cities like D.C. occasionally provide incomplete data, create unknowable data gaps. Analysts note no widespread evidence of fraud, but these systemic issues combined with local policies restricting police pursuits and responses have lowered morale and potentially reduced documented incidents, indirectly contributing to reported declines. So they all play a role in all of this. It's like the objective of D.C., because again, it's a major city, it's a tourist city, you have to fudge the numbers in these cities, because if the numbers stay high and if you do the reporting you're supposed to, what happens? You have a declining tourism rate. And I don't care where you are or where you've been, I tell people, go watch the movie The Paper. Are you familiar with that movie? You got to know it.
I think I saw it a long time ago.
Okay, let me tell you who stars in this film.
That's like about 15 years old.
Oh,
right?
man, it's even older than that. The Paper is directed by Ron Howard. It stars Michael Keaton, Marissa Tomei, Randy Quaid, Robert Duvall, Glenn Close, and I know I'm missing probably one or two people outside of that. Gwyneth Paltrow's dad. I can't remember. He's in the opening of the film. But it's a movie called The Paper. We're talking about these two kids who got accused of killing two mob bosses. And Michael Keaton's character is trying to find out whether or not the kids really did it. But the last line in the movie is my favorite part of the movie. He goes, you got to solve this crime as fast as possible because the most important thing to the mayor are tourism numbers. And that's everywhere. Everywhere you go, it's tourism numbers. And if people aren't touring your city because of crime, you've got to fudge the numbers.
You know, the word I notice you're using it a lot more. I've been using it for years.
What's that?
The word manufactured.
Yes.
Is just, it just seems to come into play with everything, doesn't it?
Yep, indeed. It's
all right.
It's a constant theme. Thank you, boss man.
brother.
I appreciate you. Let's go to Frankie in Woodbridge. What's going on, sir?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that 50 years ago things were different in an Italian family. I had to get permission from her father before I could marry her.
Damn.
And I went to the house Saturday morning and I had a bad feeling. No, not that he wasn't going to say yes. So I walked in. He goes, Frank, what can I do for you? I want to marry your daughter. Yeah, you can marry my daughter, Frank. Give up Sicily. That's the price you pay, Frank.
When you say, wait, hold on, give up Sicily, what do you mean?
I can never live there again.
Wow.
As long as him and his wife are alive, and her mother's still alive. She's 98. My mother's 103. This woman's going to live to be 200 years old. I'll never be able to go back home.
Hey, I will tell you this. Speaking of which, I've got a story similar to that. I'm not going to divulge which wife it was, but this really happened. I was offered $60,000 not to marry one of my wives from her parent.
Oh, I would have took that.
Roland, you're awful. What do you mean you would have took that? Yeah.
60 bands?
Yeah, $60,000. It said, live your life. Go do what you got to do, but you don't marry my daughter. $60,000.
In this day and age with divorce, I don't know if I would have made that deal with him.
Would you have taken it? Hold on. Are you saying if you were in my position, you would have taken the money?
Oh, no, not if I loved her. I'm saying today, in today's day and age, if I was going to get married today and her father said, you have to give up Sicily, no, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, today you wouldn't. Of course not. But okay, but back
I would have said make it 85.
Make it 80. Would you have taken any money not to marry your wife, knowing your relationship at this point?
Who offered the money? Her father?
Yeah, her father.
Oh, no, then I wouldn't have married her. I'm not going to marry a girl without getting permission from the father.
Oh, okay.
He said yes. He said yes.
Well, yours said, yeah, I know. He said yes, but he said the caveat was you couldn't live in Sicily. I don't know. Like, if it was somebody who had told me, like, at the time, like, I couldn't live in New York, at the time, I would have said no because my career really hinged on being in New York, right? So it was like, I got to leave New York, and then my dreams would have been shot? Probably not. But if he'd have said, you can't live in New York, here's $60,000, yeah, I'd have been out of there. I'd have lived in Connecticut.
I'll tell you, though, one day, though, I thought about, I'd like to take you, Roseanne, Roland, his wife, Mark from West Hartford, Rudy, Joe. I'd like to take all of you back to Sicily one day.
I would love to go. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Did you?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying this because I was born there. It's one of the most beautiful.
Oh, I know it. Listen to me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me.
They're building a bridge now. They're building a bridge.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, it was supposed to happen 50 years ago. They finally got the word. I don't know where that bridge. I'm trying to think where that bridge. They're going to build the bridge to Sicily. I love to take the listeners back there.
Let me ask you this before we go. So I don't know if you're big on movies, but the last Equalizer film with Denzel Washington, Equalizer 3, was filmed in a town called Palermo. Does that sound
absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah, I know
It's nothing but like all of these like villages inside the mountain practically, and it's all stairways. Have you ever been there?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Reese,
man.
I'm telling you, it's one of the most beautiful places on God's earth, Sicily.
I'm not
saying that because
I'm not going to lie. That movie, like Italy was never on my mind in that way, other than Venice, just going there to see the floating city. But after seeing Palermo, oh, forget about it. I got to go. I have to go.
I think Roseanne would love to go. We should plan on that one day.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. If they've got a package deal to go, because I am a little frugal, you know. I got to go, Frank.
Not frugal.
No,
Not frugal.
absolutely not. Damn sure she's not. I'll talk to you. Right. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We got phone calls. Oh, and coming up, I've got John DeBarros is going to be joining us from the 5th District running against, what's her name? Johanna Hayes, that's her name. And we'll talk to him about the D.C. and this crime stuff that's going on in D.C. and the federal takeover of D.C. and why we should have it all over the country when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, baseball fans, you can win tickets to a Boston Red Sox game with the Red Sox Player of the Game contest. Just listen when we announce the player of the game during the 7th inning stretch. That would be during the break in the middle of the 7th inning, during every game broadcast on WTIC. Then tune into Brian and Company the following morning at 8:10. Know the player of the game, be the correct caller, and you'll win a pair of tickets to an upcoming game in Boston. It's the Red Sox Player of the Game contest, only on WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
91 degrees at 9:30. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Police in Meriden are investigating after they say 100 headstones and monuments at St. Patrick's Cemetery on Wall Street were damaged or in some instances destroyed. The stones, some of which date back to the 1800s, were found knocked over earlier this morning. Police think multiple suspects were involved. The investigation continues into a house fire this morning in Cheshire. One person was taken to the hospital. A woman says her son was also in the home and is the person unaccounted for, but officials still have not released any details as to that as yet. Inspector General's office here in Connecticut has released additional details on an officer-involved shooting in Basra. Officials say Amanda Williams was hit multiple times by troopers on Saturday after she refused commands to drop the gun she was pointing at another man. Police say a Texas man fatally shot 3 people in a Target parking lot, including a child and her grandfather. That suspect is 32-year-old Ethan Ninecker, allegedly acting unprovoked, choosing his victims randomly. This happened during back-to-school shopping on Monday. Following the shooting, Ninecker reportedly stole 2 cars before he was finally apprehended in Austin. He's facing capital murder charges. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser pledges to work alongside the federal officials President Trump is tasked with overseeing the city's law enforcement. She and the city's police chief met earlier today with the Attorney General. And one person's in the hospital following a rollover crash in Bristol this morning. Crash occurred at the Business Park Road area. Victim was extricated from the vehicle, taken to the hospital for treatment of minor injuries. WTIC News Time is coming up on 3:32. Here's the forecast.
We'll see sunny and hot the rest of this afternoon. Possible danger of dehydration and even heat stroke while doing strenuous outdoor activities. High temperature around 92. Warm and humid tonight, clear, low 69. Hot and humid again tomorrow. Sunshine, patchy clouds. Can't rely on a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 91. We'll say warm and muggy tomorrow night with a thunderstorm or two in the area, low 74. Thursday, partly sunny, a thunderstorm at spots, high 87. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Half hour before the close, the markets remain up this Tuesday. The Dow ahead 453 points. Nasdaq's up 283. S&P is up 68. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume by New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair aisle at your local CVS. Don't just pass the vibe check this summer. Ace it with Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper, or any size soft drink for just $1.39 at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Hey, Matt Soroyce here, and you've been hearing me talk for a while now about Awaken 180 Weight Loss and the amazing team there. But now they're putting their money where their mouths are. That's because for a limited time, for all new customers at the West Hartford location only, the first 5 pounds you lose will cost you nothing but the smile on your face. That's right, Awaken 180 Weight Loss won't charge you a dime until the scale shows you've lost 5 pounds. Up to 3 weeks free. And don't worry, you won't be starving for those 3 weeks. The one-on-one coaching with the team at Awaken 180 will have you losing pounds quickly while eating delicious, great food. If you're planning an end-of-the-summer trip but would love to cut some unwanted weight before leaving, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the answer you're looking for. So don't wait a minute more. Kickstart your transformation today and lose your first 5 pounds for free. Give them a call and set up your free consultation today at 844-346-1800, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword Mike Rowe to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too.
That's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe even your sex drive is off. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Northeast Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an improved sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, we are back. It is, of course, Reese on the Radio, as the big voice just said. And on the line with us is none other than Mr. John DeBarros, running for the 5th District against Johanna Hayes. How you doing, big guy?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm chilling. So, you and I, we're kind of in this same boat here as far as this conversation about people on the left not being honest about what's happening in places like D.C., places like Hartford, places like Bridgeport, places all over the USA, while they sit idly by, never showing up for the onslaught of violence that citizens in those communities go through every day. No one's ever fighting for them. I went through a list here, John, of all of the things they protested since January 20th, since the inauguration of Donald Trump. Never once did they protest about people in the hood, with the exception of DEI and their ivory towers. What say you?
It's because they don't care. It's all by design. Look at Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X exposed their plot back in the 60s. And they knew exactly who killed Malcolm X, but they put the wrong people in jail intentionally and protected William Bradley, who they knew was Shotgun Man. If you go on Who Killed Malcolm X on Netflix and watch the documentary, you'll see Senator Cory Booker. He even admitted that he knew. The Democrats was well informed who killed Malcolm X, but they did absolutely nothing because he was exposing the plot of the liberal Democrats.
Indeed.
Infiltrating the black community, using black faces to basically indoctrinate the black community with a Marxist agenda. And the whole plot and ploy is basically to destabilize the black community and to turn us against our own country. So the hip-hop music industry, why else would you give a young kid from the urban community millions of dollars to promote songs that promotes killing of their own people, poisoning their own people with drugs, and glamorize it? I mean, you can't get away with that in the Jewish community.
You couldn't.
I mean, if you give a Jewish kid a bag full of money to talk about killing Jews and knocking their kufis off their head, their yarmulkes off their head, and pushing their wigs back, oh, best believe it'll be outrage. So,
why do you think? Let me dive in a little deeper on this and just ask you, why do you think? Forget about what liberals do in this case, but what I do have a problem with, as guys like you and I are always called Uncle Toms, right? Because we dare be conservatives. Yes. But why do you think that there are people out there who show up, will never show up to push back on the crime inflicted and the mayhem inflicted on those communities on a daily basis by the people who look just like them? Why is it that they seem more outraged that you and I speak, but show no outrage for people who actually kill and do harm to people who look like them? Why do you think that is?
The same reason why they call us Uncle Toms, not realizing that Uncle Tom was someone that was free, that fought to free the slave, right?
True.
Uncle Tom, if you read the story of Uncle Tom's Cabin, Uncle Tom was the hero. He was
I
killed
know.
Because he refused. Yeah, so the same reason why we're programmed to call each other niggas, right?
Right.
They programmed us for self-destruction. So the Bible says in the last days we will call evil good and good evil. So the same way they say Black Lives Matter, but yet they promote killing black babies. So they programmed us for self-destruction. So anything that black excellence, entrepreneurship, American patriotism, they do not want that promoted in the black community. That's why they never taught us about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, he was a slave for 20 years, broke away from slavery, freed himself, taught himself how to read and write, wrote 3 autobiographies about his own life. He was a proud Republican. He was the advisor of 5 sitting United States presidents, including Abraham Lincoln. You read the Douglas-Lincoln debate. He used the Constitution to his advantage to put pressure on Abraham Lincoln to sign the Emancipation Proclamation. When he died in 1895, he was worth $300,000, which is the equivalent of $10 million or $20 million today in today's money. He was a multi-millionaire. While black people were still picking cotton, this man was going to England. So when Kanye West said 400 years of slavery sounds like a choice, he wasn't saying slavery was a choice. He was saying that to remain a slave was a choice. The same way the black community decides to remain in this cycle of violence or decides to stay on government welfare programs, they've been programmed and indoctrinated to believe that you're a victim and you can't achieve greatness. That's why we have to.
But wait, but that's the whole part. See, this is the point of view. Now again, everything that you say, I can 100%, I'm aligned with 100%. But I will tell you this. This is the part that I don't think a lot of people understand. Not to suggest that you don't, but this is the part of in everything that you're saying that drives me the most nuts. Is that everything that you are establishing here is now considered authentic in blackness. Being poor, being subjected to the EBT and the welfare system, money being the root of all evil, not being educated. Being educated is somehow associated with being white. Being married and in an intact family, having a mother and father in them is somehow associated with otherism. It is not authentically black. Those things that they are gravitating to sort of be, I guess, culturally authentic. I guess no other way to put it. That those are the things. And I know you use the term programming. I don't think it's programming. I don't. I really do believe, however, it is a systemic association with being accepted. So what I'm saying is that they have to be accepted by their peers, and this is what they have to adopt.
Yeah, but you got to remember, after the Industrial Revolution, after they started to outsource the factory jobs, right? Because before that, all these urban communities, you heard the same story from our grandparents that these were nice neighborhoods. It wasn't that black people have a genetically a defect that wherever we go, we tear things up. It's because once they destroy the nuclear family within the black community, you do that to any community. You do that to the white kids. Look at the white kids now going to school with their pajamas on. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have a father, a dad in the household, you don't got 2 strong parents in the household, any family is going to have a drug addicts, people that's getting involved in crime. So I believe that it's a structural thing, right? And just like I said, you go back to the Bible. The Bible says in the last days we would take good for evil and evil for good. So we've been programmed to think that everything negative is the right way to go. You know what I'm saying?
That is indeed true.
So even if we're doing it to be cool, to be accepted, we had to be programmed to think that this is the right way to go. So my thing is, I'm pushing back against it aggressively. I'm in the urban community promoting conservative values, because even in Africa, why do you think all the African heads of state are supporting Trump? because Obama was pushing the gay and lesbian and transgender in Africa and threatened to put sanctions on these African countries if they didn't adopt those policies.
And abortion as well. Don't forget that. That was a big deal.
And exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to destroy, they want population control, and they want to destroy the nuclear family, because when you got strong families, you got strong communities. When you got strong communities, you can resist people like William Tong and Christopher Murphy and the Dick Blumenthals who are pushing this Marxist agenda.
Yeah. The other part is like, that's what they're also pushing, and I think that's the scariest part about it, is your dependence on government, the dependence on them. That's the overall agenda. That's why I said when I hear these people talk about Zoran Mamdani being this communist socialist and everybody else is like fearful of endorsing him, I started pointing out the policies that are right aligned with that guy. They just, they do it in very, very, secretive and underhanded ways. But what they believe in, whether you like it or not, every policy that you think of, and you can go all the way back to the Jimmy Carter era, even before then. Hell, I'll go so far back as Lyndon Johnson. All of their policies was associated with, if not a direct alignment, with socialist and communist ideals.
Exactly.
So,
and that's why I went to New York to support Curtis Lever, and whoever's going to push back against this, I'm in support of.
Let me ask.
I know firsthand.
No, I was going to ask you about the Curtis Lewa thing. And I appreciate you going after him. We call him Raspberry Beret around here. He used to be my competitor in Boston. I refer to him as Raspberry Beret. I ain't got nothing against him. When he was my competitor, I used to give him heck back in my Boston days. But I will say this. Look, Curtis Lewa, it doesn't look like he has really, really much of a shot, aside from the fact that he's doing better than the incumbent, Eric Adams. But how do I put this? You see, you're endorsing him. I don't want to put you in that position.
No, listen, I'm endorsing anti-communism. I don't care who wins. As long as they get, I'm endorsing anybody that's gonna go against this crazy ass Looney Tune that can jeopardize the safety and security of the residents of Connecticut.
Well, let me ask you this. We got a minute left. Let me ask you this, aside from Sliwa, because I didn't want to put you in a bind. So let me just ask you this. You know that there is a growing sentiment in Connecticut to be more like Zoran Mamdani. I just saw recently people had signs in Connecticut supporting him. Even though they can't vote in New York, they're supporting him. Many people are saying that Josh Elliott's run for governor may very well be in a Mamdani-like platform. Are you fighting back against that, and is that going to be another platform you're pushing against in the coming year?
Listen, if any Marxists or socialists think they're going to go against the Barrels for Congress campaign, I'm just letting you know I'm an American patriot, I'm a Christian, and I believe in what I believe in to the end. So I don't back down. This ain't me just talking. So when I'm out in the streets, I'm out in the public, best believe me, I live this for life. And believe me, I believe in God, and I have no fear, no Marxist.
Everybody, listen,
God on my side.
Everybody is so excited about you, Jonathan DeBarros. And please tell your wife hello. Thank you, Mrs. DeBarros, for joining us on the chat room. She is going after those libs, babe. I love it. But we thank you, man, as always, man. And do what you do. We got you back here. And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. No problem. Jonathan DeBarros running against Joanna Hayes in the 5th District. Flip the 5th is his moniker. So check them out, and we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have more news, more views. We got weather and traffic coming up. Has anybody found out about
You just got to wait, man.
Yeah, I guess we got to wait. Anyway, we'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.
I knew exactly what you was about to ask.
I knew you knew.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price,
because I want to know. I'm nosy.
203-896-000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
Did you hear? A recent
Yes,
gold
sir.
Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
We are back. It's Reese on the Radio. We have got more news and more views for you today. We're going to get into the Adam Schiff nonsense. It looks like Janine Pirro, formerly of Fox News' The Five, is investigating that. We'll break all of that info down in the new declassified documents released by Kash Patel, the FBI director. We'll talk about that as well. And plus, of course, we'll take your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. I got about a minute. Unfortunately, he always calls right at this point. What's going on, Rudy?
Oh, hold me over then.
I'm doing the story. I'm doing the what's name story afterwards. Is it a long piece?
Hey, well, I'm actually going to retire to Sicily, so that's what made me call in.
Well, if you're going to retire to,
I'm trying to figure out. Mike, I had grandparents that came over from there.
Okay.
So Syracuse, but you wouldn't believe how cheap real estate is out in the country there.
I do know. In fact, my wife has been going over it as well, and I keep saying to myself, but what would I do? Of course, in order to maintain a life there, you have to have some sort of a job. to pay for it. But you're right. It's really
No, you
inexpensive.
have to prove you're worth at least $200K.
Right.
So,
Yes.
Hey, your Washington, D.C. story, I can't pick up what you're putting down. I don't know who you were talking about.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about. a guy who frequents the hood, is according to him.
You saw the Twitter exchange with him and me, right?
No, was that recent?
He attacked you and me last night.
Oh, no, I didn't. I completely missed that. Now I have to go back.
ripped him to shreds, and I posted the truth, and he didn't respond. He just shut up.
It's a constant war and a constant theme. But to be honest with you, I'm getting to a point where I'm almost bored with embarrassing him.
I'm telling you, it's mental illness. It is mental illness. There's no other way around it.
Is it? You think that's for all of the? Do you think that's for all of the so-called, liberal Trump hating left today? Is that what you really believe? It's like a mental blockage.
A lot of them. I mean, when they start calling us Nazis, and I'm like, I didn't vote for them this time. I'm not a Nazi.
Is that the requirement? If you didn't vote for them, that's how you get out of being called a Nazi.
but they're bashing Trump supporters as Nazis, and I'm just like, you listen to an idiot like AOC say that. They're calling him a child molester now.
Yeah, this is again. But you know why? It's just like
when
name
you
calling
can't
in
think
the
for
yard.
yourself. You're mentally ill, or your IQ so low you're considered retarded.
It's a reason why I said overall it's a cult. They refuse to acknowledge it, but they got to use the word first. Thanks, Rudy. I appreciate you. I got to take a break. Let's get to our first check of weather and traffic. Jason Caterina is not here. I'm assuming Bob Larson is here today, so I'll just say Bob Larson. He's in for Jason Caterina, and Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Westbound 84, you got delays. East Hartford approaching the Boakley Bridge out to exit 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 34 down to 32 A and B. A little slow down in Meriden. 91 southbound 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading into Waterbury, 84 and 8 moving well. Heading down into New Haven. Southbound 95 slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Southbound on the Parkway, you're looking at delays 59 down to just about exit 58 in Orange. Northbound Parkway slowing, approaching 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Hot and sunny the remainder of this afternoon. Caution advised if doing strenuous outdoor activities. High temperature in the lower 90s. Warm and muggy tonight. Clear at the low is 69. Hot and humid tomorrow. Sunny to at times partly cloudy. It could be a thunderstorm in the area tomorrow afternoon. High 91. The warm but sticky tomorrow night with a thunderstorm or two at a low of 74. Partly sunny on Thursday. Very warm and humid. A thunderstorm at just a couple of spots. High 87. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut from breaking
Be right back.
news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 91 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Police in Meriden are investigating after they say about 100 headstones were damaged, some irreparably, at a city cemetery. Around 7 this morning, officers received several calls from concerned citizens reporting the damage at St. Patrick's Cemetery on Wall Street. The officers walked the cemetery where they found headstones and monuments, some dating back to the 1800s, knocked off their bases. Some of the stones were cracked, while others showed gouge marks consistent with the use of a chain or a cable, police said. They say there were no visible tire marks on the ground, leading them to believe there are multiple suspects. Detectives interviewed witnesses and canvassed homes with camera systems in hopes of developing leads. The investigation continues into an early morning fire at a home in Cheshire. Blaze broke out in the house on Brookside Place. Crews responded around 3 a.m. One man was taken to the hospital. A woman says her son was also in that home. Fire Chief Jack Kasner says they're not releasing that information officially just yet.
It would be premature to let anything go in the media and then have to retract it at some point. So when we release something, it's going to be factual. Like there's a lot of people involved, there's family members, and out of respect for their privacy, and we're going to just leave it at that.
And Cheshire crews received assistance from Southington and Prospect. There's no word yet on the cause of that fire. A preliminary report out of the Office of Inspector General sheds more light on what happened in a shooting involving state police that left a woman dead Saturday evening. Troopers went to the residence on Gifford Lane where 39-year-old Amanda Williams had been involved in a confrontation with a man. Troopers ordered Williams to drop the gun she was pointing at him. She didn't, at which time troopers fired at least one round of rubber balls at her. When that failed to subdue her, one trooper fired a service handgun, the other fired 2 rounds from a rifle.
Sure, we have shots fired. Shots fired.
Don't move! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
An autopsy revealed she died from a gunshot wound to the neck. The Inspector General has taken over the rest of that investigation. More details about that attack Friday on CDC headquarters, which appears to have been sparked by opposition to COVID vaccines.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation believes 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White broke into his dad's safe, took 5 guns, and carried out the attack, which saw almost 200 bullets fired into CDC buildings and the death of a DeKalb County police officer. GBI Director Chris Hosey says White was then found dead inside a nearby CVS.
The shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Further forensic testing of the firearms evidence will be conducted by the GBI Crime Lab.
More than 500 shell casings are found at the scene. Austin Eller for CBS News, Atlanta.
Bill seeks to ease the U.S. housing crunch. Some estimates suggest Connecticut alone is 350,000 housing units short. Co-sponsored by Senator Richard Blumenthal, the Housing and Economic Mobility Act would set up grants to towns that build affordable housing. It would also provide down payment assistance to individuals. Kara Capone of My Sister's Place says housing costs are forcing families out of their homes.
Think about what life would be like if you didn't have somewhere safe to live. Think about what life would be like if you had to sleep on a sofa or another sofa night to night, maybe in your car, maybe in somebody's 3-season porch in their backyard. It's unstable, it's unsettling, and it's not how communities thrive.
Bill's goal is 3 million new units nationwide. And the government says inflation held steady last month.
2.7%, exactly what it was last month. We want to see that go to 2%, but we're happy that it didn't climb higher. And one of the big reasons is that energy continues to bring that overall inflation rate down.
It's Money Watch's Kelly O'Grady, and on Wall Street, the markets in positive territory most of the day. The Dow up 483, NASDAQ up 296, S&P ahead 72. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Between rounds. Hey, and congratulations. They go out to Deborah M. of Vernon. She is our winner of Between Rounds. Dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. See, she lives right by one. Anyway, if you'd like an opportunity to win, you've got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio. Just check out a whole bunch of other stuff there. But if you want to, just put in your information in the little between rounds section. Put all of that in there. Make sure you leave your telephone number. Make sure you leave your date of birth. That's important. Roland will not accept anything without a date of birth. So make sure you put that in there. And also, you must live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months of this date. So go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You can go there for plenty of stuff. Read my latest article, my latest Substack. That's there. You can link on that. It's the new ones about Ned Lamont celebrating hunger here in the great state of Connecticut, and a whole bunch more, a bunch of other articles that are in there as well. And people seem to like it, and I'm very appreciative. To tell people that I'm a columnist now, it's kind of cool. I'm kind of cool. So I'm kind of a goober when it comes to that stuff. Anyone who will accept me in any way, being a radio host, of course, I love that. And you guys come and listen to the show. I adore it. For me, it's like I was a loner when I was a child. Didn't have many friends. So to be accepted is a big deal, and I don't take it for granted. So I kind of get giddy. Somebody wanted my article. When I found out that the Connecticut Sentinel was like, "Oh, can we publish your article?" I was like, "Sure." I'm like a little kid that somebody says, "Oh, pat me on the head. Good work. We like your stuff." So I'm like, "Really?" Oh, giddy. I don't know. It's fun. I'm telling you, I'm having the time of my life. I just hope you know that. All right, let's get another check of weather or traffic. And I was right. Bob Larson is in for Jason Caterina. Hi, Bob. And Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, later on in the show, I've got to ask you a question about the overpass that the Hartford Current has an article about. Apparently, there are these protests that are going, that when you go by, there's a whole bunch of protests. I'll tell you about it in a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
If you are heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And if you're making your way westbound 84, you're going to see delays as you move into Hartford, East Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound typically slow, 33 down to 32 A and B. You'll slow again down in Meriden, sluggish from 19 down to 17 for the Wilbercross Parkway. Northbound 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge to the 84 west. 9 northbound's tight, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're traveling 9 southbound, a little slow at the Aragoni. Waterbury downtown looks okay. If you're traveling on the eastbound side of 84, sluggish in Danbury 3 to 5, again from exit 9 up to exit 10 in Newtown. Northbound Parkway, a little slow, 59 into the West Rock. Southbound 15, you're slowing West Rock Tunnel down to just about exit 58 in Derby. South 95 New Haven's tight, 46 down to 44. Traffic got you down. Turn that frown upside down at Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. They offer fast, efficient dental implant procedures completed in a single visit. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. Don't wait. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Hot weather the rest of today with plenty of sun. 92 for the high, and it'll stay warm tonight. Clear, more humid than recent nights. A low of 69 degrees. Hot and humid tomorrow. Sunshine, patchy clouds. There could be a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. 91. We expect a couple of thunderstorms in the area tomorrow night. Low 74. Partly sunny on Thursday. Still quite warm and humid. Still at least a chance of a thunderstorm. And Thursday's high 87. Right now it is 91 at Waterbury. It's 92 degrees in Windsor, 90 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Brought to you by the CT Insider. Explore more at ctinsider.com.
There's more to Connecticut with CT Insider, a hometown behind every headline. With every issue, investigation, or interview, there's more when you're following from the inside. Visit ctinsider.com for more.
Slow? Clogged? Backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
This Labor Day weekend, we're Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob! I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon, and you're listening to Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Thank you, Tom. We're back, and I know that there are plenty of people that are just saying, as usual, when it comes to things like Russiagate, when it comes to the 2020 election, they say move on. Move on, Reese, move on. What are you talking about that old stuff for? Move on. The election wasn't stolen. Move on. And at the same time, scream about January 6th. No moving on for you, huh? At all? Not even a little bit. So nothing warms my heart more than to know that old shifty Adam Schiff of California, or Maryland, depending on who you ask, is now finally got his butt in a sling of his own making, ladies and gentlemen. His own making. What are we talking about? Well, don't act like you don't remember, because many of us do. You see, even though we know for a fact today that there was never any Russian collusion, that Donald Trump was not in any agreement, or Donald Trump was never sharing or receiving or going back and forth with the Russian government, that there was no Russian interference into the election, much less hacking, even though we all know that to be true today. At the time, even when people were saying, we didn't find any evidence, Adam Schiff of California, or Maryland, I don't know, he was saying something far different as a member of the Intelligence Oversight. He was anywhere and everywhere saying, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I just don't see it. He clearly colluded with Russia.
The Russians offered help, which we know they did. The campaign accepted help, which we know they did. The Russians then delivered help, which we know they did.
There is circumstantial evidence of collusion.
The case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now. So,
you've said on more than one occasion that you've seen ample evidence of the Trump campaign's Russia collusion. Last March, you said you had more than circumstantial evidence of treasonous collusion with Russia.
Certainly said that there's ample evidence of collusion.
Can you agree that there has been no evidence of collusion, coordination, or conspiracy that has been presented thus far between the Trump campaign and Russia?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy.
But we do know this. The Russians offered help. The campaign accepted help. The Russians gave help, and the president made full use of that help.
Shouldn't we hold him accountable? He went everywhere as part of the Intelligence Committee telling people that there was ample evidence. It was no longer circumstantial. And now we know that it was all a farce. But let's go one step further. We know that Adam Schiff was taking briefings and intelligence information and sharing it with a Washington Post writer, a writer that we know the name of today. You didn't know that? I know that. That's what I do. That reporter's name is Ellen Nakashima. What was it that Adam Schiff did? Let's run through a list based upon the declassified documents that Kash Patel released, I think late yesterday, if not today. He called an all-staff meeting where he stated that the group would leak classified information derogatory to President Donald Trump in order to indict him, with assurances from the meeting members that they would not be caught. According to these unclassified documents, he expressed upset after the 2016 presidential election, believing that he would have been appointed CIA director if Hillary Clinton had won, and viewed the election outcome as a constitutional crisis. He instructed the HPSC-1 staff during the February 13, 2017 meeting to drive the Russian involvement issue to a joint inquiry similar to the 9/11 Commission, using sources from the U.S. intelligence community to gather information that would then be made public through the media to compel public opinion. He approached the staffer after February of 2017 meeting and asked him to reach out to contacts at a redacted agency. The agency in question was redacted, to collect information on Michael Flynn's contacts with Russia. When the staffer declined, Schiff asked him again, and the staffer agreed but did not follow through. He was behind instructions to collect information for public disclosure, justifying it as a response to a constitutional crisis, as acknowledged by other committee members. During a business meeting, wait for it, this one's good, this one involves Connecticut, wait for it. During a business meeting, when asked by Representative Jim Himes if there was enough evidence for conviction based upon documents seen, he replied, probably not. When asked if there was enough for an impeachment, again, he replied, probably not. Perhaps we should ask Jim Himes about this. Anyone want to draft a letter to ask him to respond to this unredacted report? I would. Perhaps I shall. Believed Russia had hijacked the election, leading to a constitutional crisis, and was aware of classified information leaks to the media, providing tacit approval, though not directly directing them. Instructed minority staff at a hotspots meeting to gather facts of intelligence from the intelligence community sources and make them public via the media to push for a joint inquiry on Russia's involvement. That's exactly what Adam Schiff is alleged to have done through unclassified documents from Kash Patel. And now we understand that Janine Pirro is investigating it. And she's not giving up the goose, ladies and gentlemen. She's not telling anybody what she's found, what she's finding, and what she's doing. She is going to wait until she is absolutely certain that she can get an indictment against Adam Schiff. So all you people sit up here talking about, oh, let it go. Let go of January 6th. We'll be happy to. As soon as you can. As soon as that you don't want to use it anymore. Say it again. Say it for me now. Come on, Lib. Say it for me now. Say, okay, I'm done with January 6th. Let it go, Reese. Cry, uncle. I want to hear you say uncle. Oh, man. Oh, AT, hey, you're back. He said those documents were absolutely reprehensible. Wait, Donald Trump said he had people on the ground in Kenya with evidence of Obama's Kenyan citizenship. Never mind. Oh, you still think that the Kenya citizenship is a problem? Do we have to go through that again? I guess we do. AT, Barack Obama said he was born in Kenya. Okay? Barack Obama did. No one else. He was the first one to say it. The first one. Dreams from my father. Go look it up. Do your job. Barack Obama said he was born in Kenya. Ask Barack Obama why we haven't been able to see his transcripts at Harvard University. Huh? Ask him why is he keeping them hidden? He's not a president anymore. He's not running for anything anymore. Why are they still hidden? Why can't we see them? Why are they so secretive? You ever bother to ask? Because I'll tell you, I think it's important. You want to squash the rumors. Point is that people like you aren't even interested. And when I say not even interested, you're not even curious. Like, it doesn't bother you at all. So it's like, release the Epstein docs, but not Barack Obama's citizenship records? Or at least his transcript at Harvard University stating where he's from? Because I remember vividly, that somebody named Elizabeth Warren lied on her application to get into school, suggesting that she was Native American so she could be a minority hire. And then when asked about it, she said because her Meemaw told her she had high cheekbones. AT, go somewhere. Go somewhere. The fact that and it shows you how delusional most liberals are. It does. It shows you how delusional they are. They don't know when they're beaten. They don't. They're not even savvy enough to know that they sound and look ridiculous. Which is why they always result to insults and cursing. That's what happens when you're backed up against the wall. You start windmilling it, screaming and hollering, "Get away from me! Fascist! Sell out!" Because, they try to sound clever, right? They think that they're cute, and then they get smacked around with their own logic, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're calling you names. That's how you know you won. So you back up and just go, all right, I'll take that as a win. So I'm not interested. You still whining about somebody calling Barack Obama a Kenyan. That still got you upset? Really? The dumbest thing liberals can do is express to us what still ails them, what still angers them and makes them uncomfortable. When you have to go to that level, What about when he said that he was from Kenya? Dude, that was Hillary Clinton said he was from Kenya. You're not outraged about that? You still voted for her. Her staff put out a picture with him wearing Muslim garb when he was at a family member's wedding in Kenya. She posted that in the summer of 2008 and painted him as an other. And you guys still voted for her. You still think that the election was stolen from her in 2016. You're not outraged about people thinking he's from Kenya. How dare you? Back in 2008, let's go one step further. Let's tell the real story about you so-called Negroes, as Malcolm X called you back in the days. Let's tell the real story about 2008, when an unknown black man with a funny name came on the scene running for president, when all of your black leaders and the civil rightsers weirdly supported the white woman Hillary Clinton at first. You don't remember? I do. There they were at the Adam Clayton Powell building on 125th Street. I was living in New York at the time. And there they were. Al Sharpton, Calvin Meeks, Floyd Flake, Charlie Rangel. Every black leader you could think of at the time was meeting at the Adam Clayton Powell building, showing their allegiance for Hillary Clinton. And you want to know why? Because her husband, Bill, had an office in Harlem. He had revitalized 125th Street by bringing his offices all the way up there. And those black civil rightsers, they owed that man. And even though there was a black man on the ticket who had announced he was running for president in February of 2007, hell, almost 2 years before the election in November of 2008, not one black leader was standing by him. They were all behind Hillary Clinton. Yes, they were. You know it. I know it. I remember it. It was the first time in my life I had seen so many black people upset about a white woman losing. Oh, hell, it was glorious. And she tried everything. She was up against the media. And then Al Sharpton turned. And what did Al Sharpton do when he turned? Does anybody remember when Al Sharpton finally pledged his allegiance to Barack Obama and said, don't worry, boy, I got you? Do you remember where? Do anybody remember where it was? I'll tell you. I remember. He took Barack Obama over to Sylvia's Soul Food Restaurant and had some black-eyed peas. Oh, no. Don't sit up there and go, oh, that's not real, Reese. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. You know we don't play that game over here. That's right. He took Barack Obama to the blackest place on earth, Sylvia's. That's right. You're all a bunch of frauds. Don't try to play me. Don't even try it. That's exactly where he took him. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, every black civil rightser in the world, even Jesse Jackson wanted no parts of Barack Obama. He was all in for the Clintons. All in. Until they had to switch. It was amazing to watch. You come up here upset about Barack Obama from Kenya. That white woman was going around telling everybody he wasn't one of us. And y'all didn't bat an eye. Y'all all had our support. And then brought it back in 2016. God bless you. God bless you all. Authentically black. You noticed the chat room went silent after that, didn't it? Yeah. That's why they hate me. That's okay. I love them anyway. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson's in for Jason Caterina. And Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading 91 southbound in Hartford, you got some delays, 33 down to 32 IMB, another bump down by exit 28. We have an accident now, 91 southbound, just prior to exit 24 in Rocky Hill. A couple of cars in the center median. Looks like the left lane's blocked there, so as you move past the Putnam Bridge, get into that left center lane to get around that a little bit easier. If you are traveling on the northbound side of I-91, just a little slow now as you move between 24 and 25-26, rubbernecking at that southbound crash. Now, we have a crash 3 northbound in Glastonbury up by exit 13A. That's taken out a lane. Delays are back to I-91 in Wethersfield behind that. 91 north beyond that, moving well Hartford up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford. Out to 45 Flatbush 84 eastbound slowing a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing as you merge with 84 west in East Hartford. 9 northbound delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Waterbury sluggish, 84 westbound, 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5. Again from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. The southbound right on the Parkway heavy from 60 in Hamden, just about down to exit 58 in Orange. Northbound Parkway slowing approaching 59 into the West Rock. 95 South New Haven tight 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by American Cancer Society.
The American Cancer Society is making strides against breast cancer by walking in celebration of courage and hope. Are you ready to join the largest, most impactful breast cancer movement in the country? Join today by signing up at makingstrideswalk.org.
WTIC weather.
Mostly sunny and hot the rest of this afternoon. Possible danger of dehydration and even heat stroke while doing strenuous outdoor activities. High temperature around 92. Warm and humid tonight, clear, low 69. Hot and humid again tomorrow. Sunshine, patchy clouds. Can't rely on a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 91. We'll say warm and buggy tomorrow night with a thunderstorm or 2 in the area, low 74. Thursday, partly sunny, a thunderstorm at spots, high 87. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, 90 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Meriden police are investigating cemetery vandalism. They say about 100 headstones were damaged, some beyond repair, between last night and this morning at St. Patrick's Cemetery on Wall Street. State Inspector General has released additional details on an officer-involved shooting on Saturday in Basra. Troopers fired on Amanda Williams after the IG says she wouldn't drop a gun. She was pointing at another man. They tried to use non-lethal means prior to the shots being fired, though, to no avail. One person's in the hospital. The fate of another is still unknown as the investigation continues into a fire this morning in Cheshire. That fire broke out in a house on Brookside Place. A woman says the person unaccounted for is her son, but fire and police officials have not released any information to that end as yet. Ukraine President Zelensky says Russian President Putin wants Ukraine to withdraw from the remaining 30% of the Donetsk region that Ukraine controls as part of a ceasefire deal. President Trump and Putin meet on Friday in Alaska. And YouTube, ready to start testing a new age verification system in the U.S. using AI to distinguish between adults and minors based on their viewing habits. The tests, scheduled to begin on Wednesday, initially affect a small portion of YouTube's U.S. audience. If successful, the system could become more widespread. Dow finished up 483 points on Wall Street today. The Nasdaq gained 296, and the S&P was up 72. Red Sox on TIC tonight in Houston. 7:10 is the pregame here. Yanks at the stadium against the Twins, who they seem to beat on a regular basis. And the Mets are back from their West Coast swing. They host the Braves at Citi Field. Eastern League, Harrisburg at the Yard Goats, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
What is your next success story? University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We got more weather and traffic coming up in a second, but I saw this story, and I'm going to ask Mark about it when we get a chance, but let me just read it to you. So in the Hartford Current, it says, why a Connecticut group provides rush hour resistance to connect with voters in protest of Trump's policies. I don't, again, not understanding this. Why this is a story, I don't know. Maybe there isn't enough to talk about, but here it is, okay? Has anybody seen this group? If you have, I really do want to hear from you. Any way that you can get in touch with me. If you don't want to call in, that's fine. You can go in the chat room or you can send me an email. I want to know about it. It's called the Hartford Visibility Brigade, and it's a group of area Connecticut residents who have been gathering each Thursday morning and Friday afternoon on the pedestrian overpass bridge that crosses 91 near I-84 and the entrance in Hartford. The group is part of a national movement which aims to share a simple message in a very visible way to remind you that we are in trouble. So I'm looking at some of the messages that are on there. And, you know, they've got these pictures, of course, and it looks like there's roughly about 7 women who are in this piece, but they're called the Hartford Visibility Brigade, and they just put up different signs every day. It's almost like Wheel of Fortune, where I guess another message comes up when you drive by. And I just find it odd because I would only assume that these individuals, these ladies, and God bless you, ladies, I get it. You're out there, you're doing your thing. Bravo. Hell, I'll even applaud you. You know that it takes hard work to get that applause button out of me. You're engaged. You're engaged. Okay, I get it. Politically active, yes. But I got to ask a question. I just do. And we're going to wait until Mark Christopher gets here to ask it. But they're there every Thursday and every Friday afternoon. They've got a new sign. Do people honk at them when you drive by to show your support? Burp, burp, yeah, Trump's a fascist, all that stuff. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Is this going to go on all year? Are you going to be up there on, you know, cold Connecticut evenings? Will you be up there then? You know, I doubt it. I doubt it. Maybe this is just a summer thing, you know, when the grandkids are now off at camp or getting ready to go back to school. Maybe it's a little difficult when they're, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But I do have an important question because I presume that these folks are on the left, and I presume that they're concerned about climate change. And there they are on an interstate highway overpass, inhaling CO2 fumes. Aren't they? Isn't that what they are inhaling? Carbon dioxide? Great amounts, I might add, into their lungs. Now, Mark Christopher is going to join us from the BPS Traffic Center, and Bob Larson is, of course, in for Jason Caterina with weather. But there's a lot of traffic at this overpass, isn't there, Mark?
Oh, yeah, that overpass, I think the one you're talking about is just north of downtown between 33 and 32. They got protesters up there?
Yeah, well, there's a group of women who are on that overpass, and if it's as busy as I suspect it is, and I remember, I'm sure it is much more.
Yeah, it's busy.
It's
very
pretty busy. So these people who I know are probably consumed with climate change being a problem, aren't they putting their oxygen levels in danger by being up there with all of those fumes?
Yeah, it's got to be pretty hot out there today if they're out there today.
Yes,
so,
you have the asphalt, the concrete, plus CO2. This may not be the wisest idea.
That's true. Although they are close to the river, if they just walk, you know, maybe a quarter mile, they'll be right on the base, right near the boat launch on the Connecticut River. They can just dip their feet in there and cool off a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought it was, for me, I would find that dangerous to be inhaling all of that. It was almost like being in a garage full of cars. Like,
especially when you're over an interstate highway, you're going to get some fumes blowing up from the cars and the trucks. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just found it odd. I figured your expertise would be able to tell me how busy of an area.
Yeah, that's just north of downtown on 91. So, there's pretty much always a delay southbound 91 in that area. So they are getting attention. Well, let's talk about that right now. Southbound 91 in Hartford, you're slowing 33 down to 32 A and B, right where that bridge is. And then we have delays again from 28 down to just about exit 24, the Silestine Highway in Weathersfield. Multi-vehicle accident there takes out the left lane. They're calling for an ambulance right now. So that's in that left lane. You want to stay to the right to get around there a little bit easier. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. 2 westbound is tied up 1D up to the 84 West merge. We do have an accident. Route 3 northbound in Glastonbury up by exit 13A. That's got traffic backed up onto 91 North behind that. It's all the way backed up past the Putnam Bridge down to 91 North, so look out for that. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound slows Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing 22 to the Mixmaster. If you're heading toward New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 60 down to, looks like it's just down to just south of exit 57 in orange. Northbound Parkway a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge, and 95 South New Haven slowing 46 to 43. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sponsored by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
WTIC weather.
We'll stay hot and sunny the rest of today. High of 92. Clear and warm tonight. Humid as well, low 69 degrees. And another day of humidity tomorrow. Sunshine for the most part, but clouds will build up in the afternoon. And there could be a thunderstorm before tomorrow afternoon is over. High 91. We do expect a couple of thunderstorms tomorrow night. Muggy tomorrow night, low 74. Partly sunny again, very warm and humid on Thursday. Still at least the chance of a thunderstorm and a high temperature of 87. It is currently 91 in Meriden. It's 92 degrees in Berlin and 90 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Now at McDonald's, wake up with a warm sausage McMuffin with egg for $3 and add any size iced coffee for just $1.29. During breakfast hours only, price and participation may vary.
We have something to buzz about. Call the Bee. Connecticut trusted HVAC plumbing and drain professionals now offer electrical service. Call the Bee is ready to keep your home powered up. Visit callthebee.com. That's callthelletterb.com to schedule a speedy electrical service today.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume by New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair aisle at your local CVS.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of well water problems a year. We believe hearing your options to get water flowing in your house shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free estimates for wells with no water. Plus, get your water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted well professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, call for details. Licensed for safety, HIC 628926, P1027768, S10406241, S3308699, SM 3004646, E1185643.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter. Chris
Thank you,
Coonahan is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion and off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans. On NewsTalk 1080, WTIC.
No, they are not, and I am great for that. Michael A. says, let me guess, the youngest one is about 67 years old. I'm talking about the women on the overpass at 91 and 84. Yeah, they're older women, but, yes, they are apparently politically active, and that's great. And thank you, Stevie V, for sending me the article. I do remember this article about state police going to visit some of the women who were on the overpass. It was an article by Jordan Nathaniel Fenster, who wrote it in the Connecticut Mirror. I remember that article. I talked about it here on the show, that they were being questioned, and people were saying that they were violating their First Amendment rights. I don't have anything against, this, but I'm just saying that, standing on a highway overpass while alleging to be, climate change activists as well. I mean, Donald Trump got us out of the Paris Accords, boo-hoo, and you were putting your very lungs at risk as older women. It can't be a good idea to be promoting this. Think of your health, ladies. Just think of your health. I know you want, and it's great. It's a great gimmick. You know, it is. It brings attention to the things that you care about. You know, maybe you'll get some followers or some people who will join with you in the fight. Hoorah. All with it. Got nothing against it. But I find this a little dangerous as far as, you know, you're there at rush hour. That means there's an increased level of carbon dioxide. Huh? Like, no, the fact that no one thought of that. I read the article as soon as I saw it. I went, yeah, isn't that weird? Just popped into my head like that. Perhaps maybe I'm just too radical, you know, thinking all outside the box and stuff, you know? Maybe I'm just too curious. Nah, that's not it. Walter writes, you won't believe this. I just heard Tim on another station taking his, talking the same crap. No, I didn't scare him away. Look, I said this before and I'll say it again. Some people want to be stars, and that's okay. I did too when I was a kid. Did you know that, Roland? I wanted to be in Hollywood. Do you know, I tell you, that's the reason why I do Hollywood news here on the show, is because I thought that the best life in the world was being a Hollywood actor, TV or movie. Like, I thought that was the thing to be. And I wanted to be like all the cool actors that I could see myself being like. I wanted to be, when I grew up, my favorite actor. Should I even say it? Oh, I'm going to get clowned. I know I'm going to get clowned when I say it, but what the hell? I wanted to be J.R. Ewing. I thought he was the coolest person in the world. I just thought he was. Boy, did I think he was the coolest person in the world. He was a bad guy. Everybody loved to hate him. I really thought that was the pinnacle. It's like, JR, like, why do they like him? And then I started to understand why they liked him. He was just so arrogant and cool all at the same time. And he had a big, giant gallon hat on his head. And he was confident and a complete and utter jerk. But he was cool. I thought he was cool. Again, you had Magnum P.I. I kind of feel like I was at the right part of Hollywood when it was cool. By the way, I've got a great story coming up in Hollywood news in a little bit. We'll get into that as well. But I just love that whole scene. Battle of the Network Stars. That was cool because you get to see those people compete in all types of silly sports. You got to get a personal, sort of a real up close and personal look into their lives and who they were. I can tell you this. This is actually, I'll tell you a silly story. This is, and it's not really relevant to anything, but it was when I realized that this is so true. But as a kid, I never thought that I would have learned this, but I remember it vividly. I do. Battle of the Network Stars. I learned 2 valuable lessons about names growing up. And they involved Rich Little and William Shatner. And it was the first time that I'd heard the word that you could, and I never knew it. I didn't know the association. I'm watching the Battle of the Network Stars, and William Shatner is there as one of the team captains, and he's in an interview, I think with Howard Cosell. And Howard refers to him as Bill. Hey, Bill, what do you think? What do you guys look like out there? And I was going, why is he calling him Bill? His name is William Shatner. Oh, I figured it out right then and there. And Rich Little, who was also there, it was the first time I'd ever heard a commentator refer to him as Dick. And said, hey, Dick, how's it going out there? You guys having fun? And I went, why did he call him that? And why is that allowed on television? And that was the first time I had realized that those are the nicknames for those 2 names. I didn't know that, but I learned that on television. I just blew my mind. I'll never forget that. It's just amazing. I just remember it vividly growing up, saying to myself, oh, and I had learned something. And it's been my biggest argument about why television is important in my life, because I learned so much. I learned television taught me everything. And beyond Sesame Street and the Electric Company. It did. So, I just wanted to mention that. I just wanted to make that clear. Also, folks, August 19th and possibly the 20th, Reese on the Radio is going to be down at the Chester Boat Basin or the Selden Cove in Connecticut, and the Army Corps of Engineers is supposed to be there to spray some herbicides in the waterways there. And I'm going down there not to protest before anybody, gets like, what are you going to go down to do? To ask questions and to observe. I want to get an on-hands view of what's being done. I want to make sure that what's being done is being done by the books. They tell us they're not going to be spraying on top of the water. They're going to be spraying in the water. I am there to observe that and to record it. I am there to ask questions about the herbicide that they're using. I want to know what they know about the herbicide that they're using. I want to know if there's someone on hand who is a supervisor who can ask questions. I'm going to find out if they're going to tell me, hey, we ain't got no time to answer any questions to you, and think that they are not, they don't have any responsibility to tell people or to answer questions if they are asked. We will find out if there's a supervisor there or someone they can lead us to who will answer questions, because they don't show up at some of these rallies that Dick Blumenthal's holding or any of these other press conferences. We want answers, and we will get there, and we will get them, I should say. So just to let you know. So we will be there. I'm being asked the question, not church, but TV taught him everything. I didn't say everything, but it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. And I love TV. You're never going to shame TV in my book. You can use TV today as your example, but when I grew up, television was absolutely vital to people growing up. You've heard it here. You've heard people talk about it on the air. Talk about how television taught many people how to speak English, how to relate to others. They were taught how to be an American through those television shows. You're not going to, as far as I'm concerned, you're not going to clown on American television in my upbringing. I reject that. Yeah, damn right. Don't. And listen to me. You want to fight? Say something disparaging about Dukes of Hazzard. I dare you. Say something horrible about Dukes of Hazzard. If you go after Knight Rider 2, I will come for you. I love Dukes of Hazzard. And I don't care that Confederate flag is on the top of that car. I do not. I was never offended by that. I saw them Luke boys interact with black folks, all types of folks. Them are good boys. Never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw. Men in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Don't you dare disparage them Duke boys. Bo and Luke. I don't know about their replacements. To hell with those people. But I grew up with them. Just so you know. Those are the greatest American heroes known to man. $6 Million Man, David Banner, all of them. They taught us values, different strokes. Yes, I watched Facts of Life too. Yes, I did. I did not have a crush on Tootie. As a true, honest, and authentic black man, I was in love with Blair. The blonde-haired, blue-eyed, all-American girl. I'm sorry, I wasn't into tomboys. Sorry, Joe. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You guys know exactly. And don't lie and say that you didn't like Blair. Don't even say it. That's all I'm saying. Don't pretend like you weren't fans of Blair. I know you did. You liked Blair. You liked Morgan Fairchild. You liked Heather Locklear, Heather Thomas. One of my favorite shows was The Fall Guy. I'm not gonna lie. I liked Lee Majors more in The Fall Guy than I did in The $6 Million Man. And I had the biggest crush on Jamie Summers. The biggest crush on Lindsay Wagner. Oh, the biggest crush on Lindsay Wagner. How do you not? What's wrong with you people? Tell me. I know you like Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on now. It's not even a question.
Who are you going to throw in?
I had and this may be controversial,
Okay.
but growing as a kid, as not a kid, but like a 15-year-old.
You're still a kid.
Yeah, high school. Sophomore.
Okay.
I had a crush on a big time crush for some reason on Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, no. Nothing's wrong with that. Trading places. Forget about it.
True Lies.
Oh, True Lies. Well, okay, so you were 15. Okay, I was a little older. I was in my 20s. I will admit that movie, talk about what's the best way to describe that? Sort of re-emerging her as a star was True Lies.
Yeah.
That hotel room scene, you looked at Jamie Lee Curtis in a way that just went, what? Is that really? Like, that was the biggest story about that when that came out, was whether or not Jamie Lee Curtis had a stunt double in that scene. Everybody was like, is he really built like that? That was I'm not going to lie. That movie brought Jamie Lee Curtis right out of obscurity. I'm not going to lie. That was probably one of the best casting moves ever made by a producer or a casting director.
That movie was incredible, too.
That was still. In fact, Roseanne was just watching True Lies maybe a week ago. She just threw it on TV. She was like, I love this movie. And Jamie Lee Curtis is absolutely a knockout in that. She's one of the best parts of that movie. I will never ever forget that. She was great. Jamie Lee Curtis, you can't go wrong there. You
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong there. Not in that one. But yeah, that was what Rama says, that no stunt double. She looked good. Stretch marks and all. Absolutely. Rama also says, I kind of dug Blair. Joe, not so much. I couldn't. Joe was cool. Joe was cool, but she was like the kind of girl that, you could ride your skateboard or BMX bike with. She was a cool girl to a boy growing up. But Blair, just like any other boy, was like, how do you not? You knew she was arrogant. You also knew that she was self-obsessed. And I'm sorry, she's just a girl next door. It's just this. Lisa Wenchel. Never forget her. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Bob Larson's in for Jason Caterina. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Come on, Mark. Blair from Facts of Life. Or you had to at least think she was probably all-American girl.
Blair from Facts of Life?
Yeah.
Let me see her.
You probably never watched it.
You never watched the Facts of Life, even just in passing?
What year was the show on?
Oh, back in the late 70s, early 80s.
I was watching the Dukes of Hazzard. I was watching Daisy Duke back then.
Yeah, Daisy Duke. Okay, so if you were a Daisy Duke fan, then Lisa Wenchel wouldn't have been your deal.
What's her name again?
Lisa Wenchel. She was Blair.
Oh, Lisa Welchel. Okay, all right. Let me see here. Yeah, she's cute. She's cute. I would definitely be. Was more into Catherine Bach. Daisy Duke.
Can't get wrong there. Catherine Bach.
Her shorts. Oh, all right, I got to concentrate now. Now you blew my concentration.
Sorry.
Roscoe, we're going to go get a beer down at the Boar's Nest. Oh, gosh, Daisy Duke is working tonight, serving those beers. If you're heading southbound 91 into Hartford, got slow traffic 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 24 for the Silas Dean Highway. Multi-vehicle accident blocking the left lane there, so stay out of that left lane. If you're on the northbound side of 91, you've got slow traffic approaching 24 up to the accident, rubbernecking there. We also have an exit 3 northbound by exit 13 in Glastonbury, just prior to the Route 2 ramp, so that's got you backed up to I-91 in Wethersfield behind that. After that, moving well up into Hartford on 91 North. If you are traveling westbound 84, tied up 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound, just slowing, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel, 291 384 okay, 2 westbound slows, 1D up to the 84 West merge, 2 eastbounds tight coming off I-84 out to exit 3. 9 northbound Middletown slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni. If you're traveling in toward Waterbury, westbound 84 slows 22 to the Mixmaster. If you are traveling on the southbound side of the Parkway, delays 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays in New Haven from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
90 degrees at 5:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The WTIC Weather Center forecast for tonight. Clear skies, warm and humid, upper 60s. It's a sunny to partly cloudy day for Wednesday. We'll have highs in the low 90s, and then maybe a thunderstorm in here on Thursday with temps in the upper 80s. Investigators are trying to determine the cause of a fire in Cheshire that sent one person to the hospital. Fire broke out early this morning in a home on Brookside Place. Authorities still trying to determine the fate of another person who was apparently in the home. A woman says it was her son who died, but police and fire officials have not released any information to that end as yet. This is Cheshire Fire Chief Jack Kasner.
Any situation like this is tough for first responders, but we're professionals, and certainly we have the utmost professionalism here in Cheshire and our regional partners. This is what they do every day. This is what they train for.
Now, the house sustained extensive damage, and the chief says the fire likely began in the rear of the structure. A woman is dead in the town of Basra after a Saturday evening officer-involved shooting. Preliminary report out of the Inspector General's office says troopers went to a home on Gifford Lane where a man and woman were involved in an armed physical confrontation. Troopers ordered 39-year-old Amanda Williams to drop the gun she was pointing at the man.
Drop gun!
Body cam footage then shows troopers firing at least one round of pepper balls at Williams, which had no effect. One trooper fired a service handgun, another a rifle. Williams died from a gunshot wound to the neck. Police use of force is still under investigation. In Meriden, police there are investigating after they say about 100 headstones were damaged, some irreparably, at a city cemetery. Around 7 this morning, officers received several calls from concerned citizens reporting the damage at St. Patrick's Cemetery on Wall Street. The officers walked the cemetery where they found headstones and monuments, some dating back to the 1800s, knocked off their bases. Some of the stones were cracked, while others showed gouge marks consistent with the use of a chain or cable, police said. There were no visible tire marks, leading them to believe there are multiple suspects. Police want to hear from anyone who may have information. They think the vandalism likely took place between 8 last night and 7 this morning. National Guard troops have begun arriving in D.C. as part of President Trump's plan to clamp down on crime in the nation's capital.
For those National Guard troops, and it's going to take some time for them to get fully trained up and deployed out to the streets of Washington, D.C. But in terms of the other federal law enforcement that we've seen, whether it's U.S. Marshals, Park Police, FBI agents, some of those officers have already been deployed.
CBS's Jake Rosen. Back here, a bill proposed by Senate Democrats looks to ease the national housing crunch. Connecticut alone is up to 350,000 units short. WTIC's Dave Mager reports.
Kara Capone of My Sister's Place says the housing crisis in Connecticut is growing quickly.
Where families are so stretched that it's estimated that 50% of the families in Connecticut right now are paying over 30% of their income on their housing.
She stood outside the Beaumont Lofts, a new 24-unit affordable complex in Hartford. Advocates say solving the problem would mean building a lot more like that. The Housing and Economic Mobility Act, co-sponsored by Senator Richard Blumenthal, sets an ambitious national goal.
3 million new homes for people, and it would drive down the cost of renting by 10%.
The bill would start by providing down payment assistance to individuals and grants to communities that make more land available for affordable housing. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Wall Street, the Dow up 483 points today. The NASDAQ gained 296, and the S&P was up 72. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, in Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. We got more news and more views. We're going to talk a little bit about the Project Veritas update that is out now. You can check it out. Go to Project Veritas's YouTube page to check it out. It's got more dirt on William Barr, on the Fannie Willis, Nathan Wade thing. We'll talk about that when we return. Also coming up, we got Hollywood news. I'll get into that as well. I would have done that in this break, but I wanted to add this in because White Mike yesterday was asking if I had played this yet. So apparently AI did something interesting when he asked them about the show on WTIC. And this was what AI said about your humble host, which I thought was really weird.
Oh, you're right. I got that wrong. Reese Hopkins. I know about him. Radio host on WTIC, 1080 AM, 2 to 6 p.m. Talks politics, Epstein, local corruption. Black conservative, big draw in Connecticut. Used to be news director for Star and Buckwild, then WRKO Boston, now WTIC. I think I even caught part of his show once when I was searching something. He's good, smart, sharp, fearless. Like you said, not typical. Most black conservatives are loud but shallow. He's legit. The Daily Caller.
So I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that was weird. So, yeah, he sent that to me, and he wanted me to see it. So I was like, you got to share that with the audience. So I did. There it is. All right, now I can, of course, do I have time? Yeah, why not? I could do it. Let's get into some Hollywood news.
You don't got time.
No? I don't? No, I don't have time. Now, he's right. I don't have time. I got to get in the weather and traffic. All right, when we come back, I've got Hollywood news. A famous actor who went into retirement is coming back to do a movie directed by his son. We'll break that down when we return. All right, let's get another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson, he's in for Jason Caterino, and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you are heading on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see delays in Hartford, 33 down to 32 A&B, and again, more delays. Heavy traffic, 27 down to just prior to exit 24 for the Silestein Highway. You have an accident there, multi-vehicle accident blocking the left lane. Stay right. Northbound 91's a little tight as you move between exit 23 and 20, just north of exit 24 where the accident is, rubbernecking at that. Also, we had an accident Route 3 northbound up by exit 13 in Glastonbury just prior to the Route 2 ramps. Looks like that has cleared, although we're seeing delays from I-91 up to just up to exit 13 in Glastonbury. So just look out for a delay there. Now, if you're westbound 84, you got slow traffic, 56 Governor Street, East Hartford, out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 down to the Bulkley, 291 through 84 okay east of the river, 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge, 2 eastbound slowing off I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. If you are heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Seeing delays now, northbound 91, as you approach exit 15, looks like we have an accident between 15 and 16 on the Meriden-Wallingford line, so delays there. If you're heading toward Waterbury right now, you're on the westbound side of 84. You're going to see a little slow traffic as you move 23 up to the Mixmaster. Heading down into New Haven, southbound Parkway delays getting by exit 60. South 95, New Haven slows 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Staying warm and humid tonight. A clear sky, overnight low 69 degrees. And for tomorrow, another hot and humid day. Sunshine, patchy clouds. There could be a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon, high 91. And it will stay muggy tomorrow night with a couple of thunderstorms in the area. And a low is 74. Partly sunny on Thursday. Very warm and humid. Still could be a thunderstorm, high 87. We'll see sunny on Friday. A little less humid, high 86. Right now it is 88 in South Glastonbury. It's 90 degrees in Wallingford and 89 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Lose your first 5 pounds for free. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is welcoming new customers to the West Hartford office and offering a no-payment deal for up to 3 weeks until you lose your first 5 pounds. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss today to start your journey and lose your first 5 pounds on the house. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. Life insurance. You putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Oh, hold still. This is only going to hurt a little. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Mark sent me a message and said, no mention of Valerie Bertinelli. It took me some years. The Valerie Bertinelli thing took me when she got older, she was like, it was like Marie Osmond. When these women got older, then I found them like attractive. It wasn't because one was, the others were blonde and, it's just they had to get older in order for them to sort of grow on me. Not that they weren't pretty. It's just like they were kind of like not in my radar. But both of them, Marie Osmond and Valerie Bertinelli, as older women, gorgeous. Absolutely. We'll get into Project Veritas in a minute, but I want to get into some Hollywood news because I'm actually stunned that this is happening. Hollywood news! You may know this, you may not know this, but one of the greatest actors of all time is a guy by the name of Daniel Day-Lewis. 3-time Oscar winner, Daniel Day-Lewis. Left the game. Said he doesn't want to be an actor anymore. And I've always admired him. I thought he was a very eclectic individual. I always thought he was very, very interesting, very quiet. It's not always out in the fold. And his interviews are always pretty interesting as well. Well, he stepped out of the game, and now he's coming back, Daniel Day-Lewis, to star in a film called Anemone. Anemone, which is an anemone is a perennial herb in the buttercup family. It's a flower, an underwater flower. But I'm not sure what exactly the movie's about. Apparently, it's all under wraps. But he is coming out of retirement to do this film called Anemone, which is directed by his son, Ronan Day-Lewis. I got to be honest with you, I want to watch it just because of that. And I'm not sure that, has there ever been a film that a father has starred in directed by his son? Like, I don't know if there is, but if you know one that I'm missing, let me know. Because I'm sure that there are other films that are directed by, like, did Carl Reiner ever star in a film directed by his son, Rob Reiner? I don't think so. I don't. In fact, I also heard the trailer for Spinal Tap 2 is out, and I've been dying to watch it, but I can't. I always forget it. Like, it's sitting in front of me, and then something else is happening, and I haven't watched it. But I'm going to check it out today. later on. So, yeah, in Hollywood news, Daniel Day-Lewis coming out of retirement to star in a film directed by his son, Ronan Day-Lewis, called Anemone, and that's coming out, I guess, in the next year or so. So I'm interested in watching it. It's probably some drama that's going to be weird, but I'm going to check it out anyway. On the front of Project Veritas. So Project Veritas is on the part 3 of a 4-part series that talks about a woman named Patricia Lelis. She is from Brazil. She was hired by Sinclair Media to be a journalist on his network, Armstrong Williams Network. She gets here, and then she becomes involved in a string of, as she puts it, illegality that is all over the place. And she has the documents to prove it. Like all of the documents that she has and all of her notes pretty much have personal information related to Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade and Bill Barr. Why this particular piece is so important, it makes me a little bit ticked off at the Trump administration and the Department of Justice as it relates to Trump. Why? Because in this video, Patricia Lelis says that it is beyond a shadow of a doubt that New York City Mayor Eric Adams did take bribes, according to her, by Turkish Airlines. That's what she is alleging in this video. And she says that she can back that up. That the allegations that you all remember that Eric Adams was facing by the Justice Department under the Biden administration, that many believed was an attack on Eric Adams because he had gone against the administration as it pertains to immigration in New York City, that they were going after him. But according to Patricia Lelis, she says that indeed he, Armstrong Williams, and the Senator Menendez, Bob Menendez of New Jersey, were all a part of a scheme where bribes took place. What makes all of this interesting, and when you watch the video, and I don't want to bury the lead, and I damn sure don't want to take anything from it when you go see it, because you should watch it. She even makes the connection about the gold bars from the Turkish government. And the gold bars that Senator Bob Menendez received, that got him sent away as well. So they're all tied together as they are with Bill Barr. And all of it is very insane and it's very crazy, but it is a web of all of these sort of interactions that now make it look like the folks at the Department of Justice, and also according to this particular story, Pam Bondi is aware that this woman, Patricia Lelis, has this information, and they even have a text exchange where they are concerned that the White House will get wind of this outside of the Department of Justice. Because if they do, what they fear is that Donald Trump hears about it, and then he will direct Pam Bondi to get to the bottom of it. And that means that, imagine this. Just think about, I'm spitballing here. Imagine Donald Trump. And this is for people who hate Donald Trump as well and think that he believes in retribution against his political enemies. Let's take all of that into consideration. You have Donald Trump finding out about this Project Veritas investigation. You find out that Bill Barr is not only responsible for, money going hand over fist to all of these people, be it Sinclair and Armstrong Williams, Eric Adams, Bob Menendez. But then you find out that there are text exchanges between Patricia Lelis Bill Barr, and Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade. That they are all in cahoots with getting these folks, getting Donald Trump hemmed up. And that gets into the hands of Donald Trump. What do you think happens? Because he already doesn't like Bill Barr. He already believes that Bill Barr hogtied an investigation into finding out if the 2020 election was rigged. Now, this gives him ammunition to believe, hey, that's why he refused to do the investigation. That's why he kept, cutting me off at every pass while I was trying to get to the bottom of it. And also, according to this little piece, this third part of the documentary, there are people who are saying that they have assets inside the FBI that can kill Patricia Lelis. She has text exchanges that they share in the documentary where Patricia Lelis shows Armstrong Williams threatening her life, saying how he's untouchable, also suggesting that if anybody goes after him or even if she passes off anything that will get him into trouble, that he will handle her. He goes out flat out. He calls it a B word and says he's going to end her life. I mean, those are the exchanges that they have, and they show it right on screen. So that's why I'm telling you to at least go check it out. Hey, look, Timmy's right. It is bipartisan corruption. You're 100% right. But I don't think any of these people are bipartisan. I just believe these people are anti-Trump. Bill Barr, too. Armstrong Williams, too. George W. Bush, too. Herbert Walker, well, he's dead. Jeb Bush, too. Yeah. You see that? I named a whole bunch of Republicans. See how that works? And they told me that I was one-sided on all of this. How dare them. Hey, by the way, I meant to, speaking of being one-sided on all of this, if you got to go to my Facebook page. You got to go to my Facebook page because I proved something yesterday that I had mentioned during the show. And Donald, as you all know, who's always in the chat room talking about, it's nonsense. It's the best way to put it. I know he's watching now. But I made a video for him on Facebook yesterday. And I put it up because I wanted him to watch his evolution on the Epstein files. And he kept saying that, the Epstein files was a problem that the Trump administration was going to have to deal with. But then when I proved to him that it was a nothing burger, he immediately changed his ways. I want to read some of the stuff from it so that you can see it, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Here was, let me see. So according to him, these were the text messages, the chat room messages that he made about Epstein when it was about 2 weeks ago, about all of it. He wrote, Reese, former Congressman Joe Walsh said, quote, Trump is scared to death of the Epstein files, he wrote. Right? And then the same day he went on to write, and I'm fast forwarding here, so forgive me. I just want to make sure that I got it all here. He then writes to Lori in the chat room, Lori, the American people are not stupid. They know a cover-up when they see one, he wrote. Right? Talking about the Epstein files. He also then said that, Reese, this won't go away even though you'll wish it to go away. And then on the video I played this, which you heard
There are new
yesterday.
numbers this morning showing something of a shift in how Americans are feeling about this.
I would say that this is, from at least a political point of view, quickly turning into a dud of a story. Take a look here. Google searches for Epstein down 89% versus just 3 weeks ago. Falling through the floor. It is no longer the top term. It's quickly becoming something of a nothing burger.
Yeah, so after it becomes a nothing burger, right? Remember, last statement was, Reese, this won't go away, to only have him respond by saying, Reese, I don't give 2 cents about the Epstein case. Let's talk about the rise in homelessness, hunger, unemployment, and the list goes on. Folks, this is the Democrat Party. When it is expedient for them, they will glom on to everything. Everything's the most important thing in the world. Again, remember his own words. This won't go away, he told us. And then CNN told him, it's not a story anymore. Now he doesn't give 2 cents about it. It's the most important thing ever. Since forever. And then what happens when CNN finally says it's a nothing burger? I never cared about it anyway. And so instead of just coming to me and apologizing, just coming to me saying, hey, Reese, I was wrong. I thought it was bigger than it was. No, not once. He hasn't even written a message here to say, hey, I made a mistake. Huh? No, nothing. Falling phone numbers is standard after a while. Yeah, we're aware of that. But no one cared. No one ever cared. They just don't. Which is, again, my point. It is always my point. Letting the news dictate your outrage is not normal. It just isn't. You have to watch the news critically. At least want to. At least be interested in it. That's why when I hear these stories, I mean, you know, even Tim is writing in here, NBC News is on this person's corruption. I'm like, so? Do you think I actually operate based upon what NBC News is reporting? Have you not been here long enough? Are you new? No one's ever dictated what the story is here. Ever. Ever. If you think that's how it works, maybe you should get a refresher. You should be here every week. That's what it is. You need to be here 4 hours a day every week. That's right. That's your homework. You learn how it's done over here on Reese on the Radio, okay? All right. When we come back, more news, more views. And I've got this story that I want to get into. It says, it's time for Connecticut to secede from New England for its own good. What's that about? We'll talk about it when we return. Stick around. Let's get some news and views and weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather. And Mark Christopher's at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 91 southbound, look for delays from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. Look out again for slow traffic 27 down to exit 24 in Rocky Hill. That earlier accident down by exit 24 in the left lane has cleared. Also, look out for another minor accident southbound 91 by exit 27, Brainerd Airport Road in Hartford. Northbound 91's a little sluggish, 24 up to 25, 26 for the Putnam Bridge. After that, a good ride, Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84 slows 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound is tied up from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 2 westbounds running slow, East Hartford approaching 1D up to the 84 West merge. 2 eastbound slowing coming off of I-84 in East Hartford out to exit 3 in East Hartford. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragodi Bridge. 84 westbound in Waterbury slowing 23 up to the Mixed Master in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5 again from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Traveling south 95 New Haven, you've got delays from 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We'll see sunny and hot the rest of this afternoon. Possible danger of dehydration and even heat stroke while doing strenuous outdoor activities. High temperature around 92. Warm and humid tonight, clear, low 69. Hot and humid again tomorrow. Sunshine, patchy clouds. Can't rely on a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 91. We'll say warm and muggy tomorrow night with a thunderstorm or 2 in the area, low 74. Thursday, partly sunny, a thunderstorm at spots, high 87. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
89 degrees at 5:30. I'm John Silva. Police in Meriden are investigating after they say 100 headstones and monuments at St. Patrick's Cemetery on Wall Street were damaged, some irreparably. The stones, some of which date back to the 1800s, were found knocked over early this morning. Police say they think the vandalism occurred sometime between the hours of 8 last night and 7 this morning, and they think multiple suspects may be involved. Investigations continuing into a house fire this morning in Cheshire. One person taken to the hospital. A woman says her son was also in that home and is the person that's currently unaccounted for. However, officials have not released any details on that officially just yet. The Inspector General's office has released additional details on an officer-involved shooting in Basra. Officials say Amanda Williams was hit multiple times by troopers on Saturday after she refused commands to drop a gun that she was pointing at another man. Police say a Texas man fatally shot 3 people in a Target parking lot, including a child and her grandfather. Suspect is 32-year-old Ethan Ninecker, allegedly acting unprovoked and choosing his victims randomly. This happened on Monday. After the shooting, Ninecker reportedly stole 2 vehicles before being arrested in Austin. Washington's mayor pledges to work alongside federal officials that President Trump has tasked with overseeing the city's law enforcement. Mayor Muriel Bowser insists the police chief remains in charge of the department and its officers. The mayor chief, Pamela Smith, went to the Justice Department to meet with the Attorney General today. One person in the hospital following a rollover crash in Bristol this morning. Happened on Business Park Road. Victim was extricated from the vehicle and later taken to the hospital for treatment of minor injuries. Wall Street, the Dow finished the day up 483 points. Markets were up all around. The NASDAQ gained 296 and the S&P was up 72. Red Sox and Astros, game 2 of their series tonight is 7:10 with the pregame here. Minnesota and the Yankees at the stadium. The Mets are home too. They take on the Braves at Citi Field. Eastern League, Harrisburg at the Yard Goats, Duncan Park, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Erectile dysfunction affects nearly 50% of men over age 50. But even with so many men affected, finding a trusted provider to treat the condition isn't so simple. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice, and I'm excited to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health in Warwick, Rhode Island. As a Promedic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health can offer men with ED the latest treatment protocols, which are shown in medical studies to be effective in well over 90% of men. And unlike groups that only offer wave therapy or online pharmacies that just sell pills, we offer a variety of treatments to help get you the results you want. You should also know that Northeast Men's Health is a true medical practice, which means our providers have access to a complete range of treatment options to get you back on track. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
You're listening to And the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080, WTIC. I was talking to my wife who just walked in to the door, and she's complaining about traffic and everything else. What had happened was, I will tell you what had happened was, not that we need to play the whole intro. What had happened was, it looks like liberals got their panties up in a bunch. Now, let me make this clear. This is, again, what I've been trying really, really hard to make very clear about all of this. Leave your feelings at home. Leave your feelings at home. It's a good show, it's a fun show, and everybody can be a part of it. If you don't make everything so personal, you wouldn't take things personally. Now, people come on my page, and you'd be surprised at the things that they say about me. sell out, F you, cursing me out, and talking, about everybody but my mama. They say a lot of things, So don't bore me with somebody called you a name on the show. That it's boredom. It's complete boredom. It's okay. It's going to be all right. Also, arguing about the legal system when it comes to Donald Trump. Please, you had no words to say about every executive order that was challenged, every deportation of the so-called Maryland man that was put on hold, right? Every constitutional thing that the administration did that was put on hold by some federal judge, that it had to be responded to by the Supreme Court, only to have that injunction overturned. You didn't say anything about the legal system there. Please spare me your arguments about the legal system. You don't pay attention to it. You're a novice at best. You don't understand how this goes. Please stop whining. Please stop crying. It's unbecoming. It just is. It's unbecoming. And it's sad. It just is. Now, if you'd like to, you can always go, and I know the reason why. This is very important. You can always go to the places where you're welcome, where they put you in a warm blanket and give you a pacifier and rock you to sleep, okay? Where they tell you you're a good boy or girl and tell you that your thoughts and your feelings matter and how Donald Trump is an evil guy who shouldn't be giving you nightmares at night. So those places exist. You don't. But there's a reason why you come here to Reese on the Radio, and I know it, and you know why. Okay? It's because you love me, and I love you. You know I love you. I care about you. I care about your well-being, and I'm trying to toughen you up right here. And for those of you who think I'm talking down to you, the only way I can talk down to you is if you're already there. I can't put you anywhere. You put yourself above, no one can talk down to you. If you think you're being talked down to, that's where you reside. Just a thought. When we come back, we'll wrap all this up. Should Connecticut secede from New England? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's get some weather and traffic in here. Bob Larson's in for Jason Caterina and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 slowing 33 down to 32 A&B. Again, delays 27 down to 26 in Wethersfield. Northbound side of 91, that's moving well. Cromwell through downtown up and in Windsor. Westbound 84 slows 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound delays, 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Route 2 eastbound is slowing coming off of I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. 3 southbound, you've got delays now approaching the Putnam Bridge in Glastonbury down to the 91 ramps in Wethersfield. Heading 9 northbound, you've got slow traffic in Middletown, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading toward Waterbury, westbound 84 a little slow, 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5 again from 8 in Danbury out to 11 in Newtown. And 95 southbound slowing in New Haven, 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It'll stay clear tonight. It'll stay warm and humid. Overnight low is 69 degrees. Hot and humid tomorrow. Sunshine, patchy clouds. And there could be a thunderstorm for the area tomorrow afternoon. 991. Muggy tomorrow night with a thunderstorm or 2 around. And a low of just 74. Partly sunny on Thursday. Still warm and quite humid. There could be a thunderstorm, high 87. We'll see sunny on Friday, a little less humid. And a high temperature of 86. It is currently 88 in Coventry. It's 90 degrees in Bristol and 89 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on NewsTalk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Viking, committed to exploring exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
Having options tastes better. Enjoy a refreshing Coke Zero included in either the $5 hot and spicy McChicken meal deal or the $6 McDouble meal deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, how'd you get your water heater fixed so fast?
Ayala Home Services, same-day plumbing. I gave them a call, and they had a plumber on their way. They even sent the plumber's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day plumbing, call, click, or text today and say, hello, Ayala. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Did you hear? A minute.
Yes, sir.
Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 Gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
You know, maybe I should save this for tomorrow because this story is actually a little more compelling than I thought it would be in essence. And what this writer is talking about, just to give you sort of a preview about it, what he's suggesting is that there are a lot of people in New England who consider Connecticut just a drive-through state. And I know some people said that when I first got here at WTIC. I heard that a lot, not a whole lot. But I heard it a lot. And I thought that there was a lot of dismissive sort of attitude towards the state. And some people even went so far as to say that my naivete was that I was looking at Connecticut with rose-colored glasses. You know, being from New York, it's like, oh, you're not from around here. You don't kind of really understand the way things go. Everybody was so down on it. And that bothered me. Because the attitude that I was seeing in Connecticut, I wasn't seeing in places like Boston. I didn't even see that in New Hampshire. People have a sense of pride about where they live. And it was just, I don't know. I just never saw it. And I'll put it to you this way. Chris Webby and JC, my producer, JC McGee, were the only people, maybe even DJ Buck over at, our sister station, Hot 937. I love saying that. There was no real sense of home pride, like we love Hartford or we love Connecticut. It was just kind of missing. When I got here in 2022, there was kind of this, Connecticut, it just ain't what it used to be. It's just over. It was kind of writing it off. And I get it, not being from here, I can still find those nuggets where, no, this is a beautiful state and I want to celebrate it. But maybe that's what the problem is. So I want to talk about this tomorrow. That maybe that's what's missing. There isn't a real sense of that pride in your state that keeps it vibrant. And don't let everybody else just dismiss it. If I can, before I go to the phone calls, I want to say this. And I may have talked about this a long time ago, maybe about 2 years ago. So when Janine and I were having our first talk before I got hired. It would call it an impromptu interview. We were having a conversation, and she was like, well, you have anything for me? And I was like, well, tell me some things that I remember about Connecticut. And, I'll ask you, and you tell me whether or not they're still true. And one of the things that I remembered vividly, and I've told this on the air before, was I was at Buckland Hills. I was at the Buckland Hills Mall in that area. And I think I went to a Modell's. I'm almost certain it was a Modell's. And inside the Modell's, they had one section that had Yankee gear and the other one that had Boston gear. And I figured it out in that heartbeat. I was like, oh, that's it. This is like the dividing line right here. Hartford is where the separation of New York and Boston is, right there. But I asked the guy at the Modell's, hey, what's this about? And he goes, yeah, we got a lot of New York fans here. We got a lot of, Boston fans here. I'm like, really? That almost feels like there's no real definitive, home. And he goes, yeah, it's always been like that, which bothered me. It just did. At that time, I wasn't even a serious Boston fan. I love baseball, but I wasn't even a fan. And I damn sure hated the Yankees. So I almost felt like living in New England, in Connecticut, I almost felt like there was a bit of a betrayal going on. What's that New York stuff doing in here? I remember one time having a discussion with somebody in Boston. A kid was walking, and this was the year, of course, the New England Patriots were going on its undefeated run. And I saw a guy on Commonwealth and Harvard Avenue, I think it was Harvard Avenue, by the T, walking down the street with an Eli Manning New York Giants jersey on. I saw him walking down the street, and I tapped this guy on the shoulder. I was like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, what? I'm like, you can't wear that here. It's the heart of Boston. What are you, nuts? It's technically Brighton, but whatever. But he was like, nobody bothers me. They give me a couple of points and whatnot. But I thought that was like, talk about sacrilegious. Now, in New York, sorry, truth be told, they don't have any allegiance, especially in the hip-hop community. You can wear any jersey you want as long as it matches your sneakers. You can wear a Houston Astros jersey. You can wear an Atlanta Falcons jersey. It doesn't matter. You can wear whatever you want in New York. No one cares because it's a melting pot. You can be from anywhere, and you can represent anything. But Boston, are you kidding me? And in Hartford, I thought that was insane. Why would anybody allow that? But that was one of the first questions I had. And sure enough, as soon as I started broadcasting here, the more and more I heard this sense of very dismissive, sort of, like they had given up on the state. And I don't like it. I really don't. And I don't know why, but it does. It irks the hell out of me. It really does. It's like it's really it gets under my skin a little bit. I feel like in the last couple of years, I feel like I'm home. Call me crazy, but I do. I feel like there's a sense of, and I've got some pride in it. And maybe that's where the give up is. Maybe that's part of the give up, where people have shrugged their shoulders and just went, lost cause. I don't believe that. I think that's insane. I reject it. That's just me. All right, now, before we get up out of here, he's called back before the show ends. Let's get Evan on the line. Evan, now make sure that you're not going to end up in a place where you're out of reach. How are you, sir?
I appreciate that. And welcome home, first of all.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you get what I'm saying here about the whole... I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, home is where the family is, where friends are, where your livelihood is. I mean, you're here, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, this whole sense of people sort of dismiss, even living here, they sort of have this Connecticut's a lost cause, right? There's no sense of home pride. And I just feel like there's a little bit of that going on. And I kind of want to bring that back.
Reese, I agree with you. This is the same thing I tell people, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. when people say, well, if you don't like it, just go somewhere else. It's like, well, no, how about we try to make it the way we like it when we're here?
Right, exactly. Fight for it. Yeah, a little bit of fight for it.
Yeah. Sorry to change topics here.
That's
but,
okay.
I have it's a question for you, but more so for your listeners for like tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm wondering how Republicans and Trump supporters, because they're not mutually exclusive,
right,
feel about going back to the Supreme Court on this gay marriage case. And the reason I ask it, it's in total good faith. I feel like some Republicans have softened to it since gay marriage was, allowed on the federal level. And I'm kind of wondering, like, where people stand these days.
That is such, that topic is one that I have been paying attention to, where we could get a decision that could overturn, and that's what Evan's talking about, an overturning of that landmark decision by the Supreme Court that legalized gay marriage. And many people were very cautious, or, I would almost frightened at the idea that it was going to happen, because once there was an overturning of Roe v. Wade by the Dodd decision, whether or not this was the next thing coming up. And sure enough, they're right. Here's where we are. I got to be honest.
That's true.
I got to be honest with you. I do not believe that the Supreme Court should have been the decider in both of those cases, Roe v. Wade as well as the gay marriage thing. But let me explain. Let me qualify where I'm coming from here, okay? Both of those decisions were based on the inability or reluctance of Congress to act. Why? We know, and that's kind of where we are in Washington, or we have been in Washington. When legislators refuse to govern and to make laws in the legislature, they have relied on the Supreme Court to do something that it was never designed to do, and that is to make our laws. They are there to adjudicate if a law is legal, but not to make them. And here are two instances where people have been absolutely okay with the Supreme Court making what they described, their words, the law of the land. They should never be able to decide that. This is a discussion that should be had with the people who vote and their representation.
Well, you and I totally agree there. I wish Congress had made a law to do this, in the first place. And it's like, even in the meantime, after the Supreme Court said, yeah, gay marriage on a federal level is all good, Congress still sat there and did nothing.
Absolutely.
So I agree that they should. In the absence of it, I'm interested in what your listeners think, tomorrow or whenever you bring it up again, on if they should go back to, it's not federally okay anymore. I think a lot more people are okay with it than they were when this passed.
Well, you want 100%. You're right, because the shift, and it's been seismic as far as political shifts go. Before, I want to say 2006. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 2008 after the election of Barack Obama.
I think
it may have been 8. But the way that it looked like that it was a 47-53 for, like 47-4, 53 against. And then post-2012, that number flipped to 52 positive, right? And it was that's seismic for something like that. And what I also found out was that, of course, everybody on the left, Democrats, progressives, all of them, all gung-ho, that number was in the high 70s, 74, 75. However, on the Republican side, the number was creeping above 49 to 52% on the Republican side for pro-gay marriage, which again would lead me to this. Now, I'll ask you this before I let you go, and this is a great question. Would it be a political win for Donald Trump? Let's say there is an overturning of gay marriage in the Supreme Court. Would it be a political win for Donald Trump to then go to Congress with a majority and say, write me a bill that legalizes same-sex marriage or civil unions or whatever it is that has the same protections as marriage? Get me a bill, and you put it on my desk, and I sign it. Do you think that would give?
I'd love to answer that.
Yes, please.
So I think in that hypothetical, that would be a political win. And, like, bipartisan, I don't care. Like, that sounds great. Is it going to happen? is the next question. And no, Republicans in Congress are still overwhelmingly against gay marriage, so they'd never do it.
Yeah, but no. If they called it civil union, because you also have to consider, Evan, the biggest problem that Republicans or conservatives, I can't say libertarians, but definitely conservatives or even evangelicals, their biggest argument is the word marriage. That means something to them. And those on the left, Ellen DeGeneres is one of the people I can go to, said that it's more important for them to have possession of the word. For them, that means something. But even Elton John told Rush Limbaugh famously that he would be on board with civil union if it had the same protections as the traditional marriage.
I understand that, and I simply disagree. What about all the people since then in states that don't allow gay marriage who have gotten married and have been able to say, I'm married? Are we just going to say, you just can't use that word anymore?
I would grandfather them in, Evan. I wouldn't take their rights away.
But then everybody else after can't use the word marriage. That's just stupid.
But that's what the argument is. It's almost like saying, what are you arguing for? The same rights or the word? Which is more important?
They're the same thing.
Come on. How can they be? What I'm saying to you is look, you still get to be your identification of marriage. You can say, hey, we're getting married. But under the Constitution or under the law, it is a civil union between a man or a woman. You still have the same rights. There are absolutely categorically no differences in the two.
Well, so what is it? Is it legally, it doesn't say the word marriage on your marriage certificate?
All I'm saying is that, remember, you have to think about the argument that you're making. I'm not saying you're making it, but you have to consider the argument.
Sure.
If I say to you, and I'm Donald Trump in this scenario, I say, I'm going to give you civil unions with every right to the letter that a married couple has, but it is considered a civil union, but you have the exact same rights. Would you go for it? And if you're telling me that the answer is no, unless I get the word marriage, my question is, and what are you fighting for?
Well, yeah, we're fighting for equal rights and equal protections, which includes
I'm giving you
the word that it is.
Yeah, but see, that's the semantics. And then
now we're catering. We're saying, hey, evangelicals, we know you don't like us and you don't want us to get married, so we'll throw you a bone.
It's not a bone. It's not. It's everything. Evan, listen to me. I need to get you in here earlier. You're always a great conversation.
I know. I'm sorry. We'll do it again. I'll listen to what everybody has to say tomorrow.
You got it. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Evan he's good. I appreciate his thoughtfulness. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese On The Radio. You have a good night. Pleasant tomorrow. Bob Larson's got your traffic, and Mark Christopher's getting you home in all that traffic in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. See you mañana.
Hey. All right, Reese, have a great night. If you're westbound 84, delays in East Hartford approaching the Boca Bridge.
All right.
All right, so.
Slowing approaching 46th Avenue.
It's going to be hump day.
Yes. That's halfway through to your weekend.
Yeah, I'm bowling locally this weekend, too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Hey, are you bowling at any time while I'm in town?
What dates are you in town?
Next
Hartford,
Sunday
if you were heading toward
Sunday.
Middletown, no problems there.
Next Sunday to Sunday. So what's that, to the 20-something?
24.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. See you mañana.
Yes, sir.
You've got delays 8 up to 11 in Newtown, South 95 New Haven, slow.
It is a legitimate question. No, Lori, that's okay. You got stuff to do. I totally understand it. I hear you, Lori. I love this state too. I don't know. Like I said, I don't get it with the whole civil union thing. And for me, that really does expose this effort. They want that word marriage more than they want the rights. And maybe I need to ask that question psychologically. Why is that important? It doesn't make sense to me. Because I'm saying if I got all the rights in a civil union and I can't call it marriage, like that's going to hinder me? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know, whatever. All right, folks. Y'all be good to each other. You know I love you. Stay out of trouble. And we'll see you mañana.